What's up, Summoners? King Blair here. As the title suggests, today we're going to be spending some time in my favorite place to be for Epic 7 content, which is going to be Reddit. Now, Reddit is an interesting place to be in Epic 7. You do get some news of what's happening in the game. You also get to see some people kind of sharing their unit builds and stuff like that. But one of my favorite things in Reddit is always there are so many people with some very interesting takes that sometimes are not popular, and sometimes that everyone thinks it's very popular and doesn't like the most. So we're going to be looking at some of these. I did save a couple, and then if you have any, we're also going to look at a tier list that someone made in Reddit, and we can also look at some of the tier lists that have been shown by both Shuffles as well as Car6, both pretty good players, so I'm curious to see their tier list. I have not seen it, so it'll be my first reaction seeing them, and we'll see if I agree or disagree. So it should be a fun little stream. And let me message the Discord to let them know that we're starting. And yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Kind of more of a chill stream. We're not gonna be doing any RTA fighting. They have said that the point system in RTA is broken, which is why it's so hard to climb right now. So if you're wondering why you can't climb out of bronze or silver or even gold, it's not your fault. Epic 7 did mess up the point system this time around for the preseason, and they're probably not going to fix it until the actual season, because there's no one really plays RTA during the preseason unless they really like the game mode or want to try some cool units out. So that's a thing to remember. So yeah, let me send this in the Discord, and let me get the chat up so I can actually see what you guys are saying. Hey, what's up, Wilson? But yeah, it should be a good time. I'm kind of excited. We haven't done one of these, so it's something definitely new. If you like it, let me know in the comments. I do read this video after, or this stream after it becomes a video. I do try to read the comments. As a general rule of thumb, if it's within the first 24 hours that a video was posted, I pretty much probably saw your post, and I probably try to reply to it. Once it gets past 24 hours, it's a little bit harder for me to actually see that kind of stuff. So if you ever wondered, oh, he didn't reply to me, does he not care? No, it's probably because I just didn't check it at the time. So if you really want to be guaranteed that I'm most likely to read it, post within the first 24 hours. There are very few times that I can't get to all the messages in the first 24 hours. I check pretty periodically after a video is posted, at least until the next one is, right? So I do try to. I try to reply to y'all's comments. But with that, let's get right into it. Let me put some music in the background. Hopefully nothing too loud, but just enough to like make it chill. Let me know if the music is too loud or anything in the stream chat. But yeah, Reddit hot takes. And let me turn the camera on as well. Very slow today to start the stream. It always happens. It's a little bit hard to start the stream. Always this technical stuff. My computer was chugging recently, so. All right, this is chill. It's a little too intense for Reddit, but. Alright, let's get it. Facecam where it's right here. Hey, what's up, at stream? What's up, unknown character? But alright, Epic 7 Reddit. So if you guys didn't know, this is, again, as I mentioned before, it's a pretty cool place. I love the art that they post. That's always like my favorite one. But the way that I like to look for these, right, is to look for the controversial ones. And I don't know if they have it in here. I hope they have it in here, because the controversial ones are like my favorite. So maybe I'll be able to find that out, but I did save a couple, which is the one that we're gonna be looking at. It's gonna be the ones I saved. We'll go through them, and there are some spicy ones in this one. All right, so we're getting started first with this Reddit stream. This can't be good. It's gonna be a good time. What you mean? So first, let's start with this one, which is someone that basically wants Emil Cowrick to be buff. Real content. Yeah, I mean it's fun times, and we can see what you guys think as well. I can answer questions in the chat as well. But our first one, Emil Cowrick. So this one kind of brings the question about buffs. Yeah, he's not great. Right? He's not really seeing any play. The big reason, I don't think his kit and his kit is pretty bad. His S3 is amazing, right? Let me actually look at some of the units that I think right now the worst ML heroes, and there's another one that we'll get to later on, because I did pre-read some of these. But Meteor Cowrick, I mean. Yeah, he kind of sucks. I mean, he's usable, right? I don't think he's an unusable unit. The problem is this S3 is just directly power crept by Maid Chloe, right? There's no reason to ever pick Meteor Cowrick when you could have easily picked Maid Chloe, right? It like doesn't make sense, right? And then even then, same thing with Vivian, right? This character is legit a walking S3. S2 and S1 don't exist. These two skills are not skills. He essentially does an S3 and is out of the fight immediately, right? That's it. That's all he does. He's legit a walking S3. Whereas units like Mei Chloe have a lot of game pressure because they're able to stun, they're able to CR push, they can be annoying, they have Soulburn to try to get back to their S3 quicker, and they have the Revive, which is actually pretty annoying. Granted, they don't have the immunity, but, I mean, without Soulburning, this is only for 2 turns, which is really not that great. So, this skill is just trash. Like, this skill is actually just trash. And then the S1, again, this skill, yeah. I agree with that Redditor. I don't know why he got downvoted. He was in the controversial tab. And I was like, I don't think it's controversial. I guess it's because he said buff or we riot. He needs a buff. He's not great. Yeah, Vivian's just better version as well. Because Vivian gives greater attack buff to herself, gives attack to everyone, gets immunity. Cleanses 1 debuff, which I know it's not 2. But for the most part, you only really need 1, right? You usually only need 1. And like the big threats right now, like even Carrick, Vivian does better than Emilcar, I can understand. He doesn't need a buff necessarily. Like he's not a bad unit, but I don't know. It's just he gets power cut by other units. Might then RTA Jake? Probably not. He needs a rework, yeah. A rework might be. It's just his S1 and S2 are trash, right? He's legit at walking S3. So I actually don't think that's a Reddit hot take. I actually think this guy, I mean, it's true. It's pretty disappointing because he's like the first unit we got from that big announcement. And honestly, after the first announcement during like that Epic 7 World Cup, it was so hype. And then the hype just like, it was like, hype was peak during the Epic 7 World Cup with all the stuff that they said was coming. And since collab was canceled and since he kind of sucks, it's just been like going down pretty fast. But yes, his S3 is good, right? Don't get me wrong. This unit is a unit that with a small tweak to his S1 and S2 could be a very strong unit. It's just right now, no one uses him because Mei Chloe takes his spot, right? And Mei Chloe kind of takes the role that he would do. Even though they are slightly different, for the most part, you are going to be using Maid over him. That's the big problem with him, right? Not great. So I want not that big. Man, the collab one. This is one that there's going to be a lot of these. And I only picked this one because I do think this is probably what's happening. But what really irks me about this is that Epic 7 is usually pretty open, which makes me feel like there is some contract that they signed, which makes me feel like they didn't have the best law team and that they didn't protect themselves properly to try to release this big IP, which makes me feel like this IP is really big. Because the only reason you would delay a collab this much is I don't think they don't have the characters ready. I think the characters are ready because they clearly don't have anything prepared for us this past month, right? Besides admin, they had no new characters for us. They were really behind in that aspect. So I think they have the characters ready. And that's why they were so behind, because we're supposed to be getting collab right now. I really do think that there's a problem. I don't think it's that bad that they're doing another one. But the only way I could see Snogate not covering their bases when they sign a contract, because if you're doing this, you can expect for them to have this collab. You would expect them to kind of like, you know, cover their bases, right, with the contract, or to write a contract that says, hey, we are gonna use your IP. This is what you get from us. This is what we get from you. But the fact that they signed and they were like, oh yeah, you can't release until we say it's okay, it makes me feel like the collab is going to be a really big IP. And it makes me wonder what is going on behind the scenes. But yes, copyright sucks. Yes, it's the nature of business. It just sucks that like, I don't get how all these big animes can collab with other games. Like there's games that have like 3 collabs in a year. And then here, Smilegate is struggling to get a collab out. Like, they only have Guilty Gear, and they've struggled for 3 years to get another IP. So, I don't know. Smilegate's legal team must be kind of bad. That's the only thing I can think about, that they're having this many troubles getting a new IP and a good contract that doesn't screw them over, right? So, yeah, a Guilty Gear is very collab friendly. So, I really do think that they really tried to go for more than they could chew, rather than going for something safer. So, I really do think it's going to be a big one, which makes me feel like it's an anime, because I know animes have really big problems and stuff like this. Alright, the next one, RTA. We kind of touched on this one a little bit. This one was before, like after season ended. It's preseason, right? And this guy says it's tryhards. But Smilegate has confirmed that there is a problem with the current point system. And I have definitely felt this. Man, preseason sucks. Big time. Big time. Don't play preseason. Unless you're really just trying to try units for fun, don't play preseason. It's actually terrible. The reason why this happened is in the RTA patch, they mentioned that they made the changes now to try and preseason, but they did better matchmaking, right? They legit said that that's what they try to do, is better matchmaking to try to match it with people of your same skill level. Well, because they messed with the matchmaking system, the point system is total garbage. Let's just look at mine, right? Like here, I beat this person and I got what? 15 points. I beat this person. I beat this person and got 15 points. I lost to this person and I lost 20. So let that sink in. A win against a silver player got me 15 points. A loss against a gold player lost me 20 points. So let that sink in. And then a loss against a master player, 14 points, right? So you were gaining way less than you were losing. If you lose, and there was one time I lost to a bronze player, and I think I lost like 30 points in like one full, like right here I lost 24 points. Like what the heck? 24 points just like gone. Goodbye. Say goodbye to your points, right? So that means that if you have anything lower than like a 70% win rate, you're not climbing, right? You're moving at a snail's pace. Or you have to get very good lucky with matchmaking. So yes, right now the point system is total ass because it should not be this bad, this low, right? So just win, right? And it's like, imagine if it was like this next season. Yo, if they actually were to keep this point season for next season, you know how many people would actually get this stuff? Right? Like, no one would get the skin. Because people get to Challenger that are like really, or to Masters, they get there with like a 40-50% win rate. Right? These, right now, I have a 60% win rate, and last stream, I started at 1424. I played for a whole hour with a 60% win rate, and I ended up at the exact same spot I started. So, I don't know, man. And it doesn't help that we're early season as well. So, like, even the higher level players are struggling. Like, right now, at this point, I would expect people to already be all the way up to Legend. They're barely cracking Challenger, right? So, it's bad. And hey, what's up, Ferris? It's bad. It's bad. I would say just don't play RTA right now unless you really like the game mode. There's a huge bug, so yeah, this is stupid. So they did say that there isn't a mistake. To be on the official, sometimes Reddit does some good stuff, right? That's what I'm saying. Reddit sometimes has some good stuff, right? But yes, there are some really stupid. They're not gonna resolve this issue until the new season. They're not gonna fix this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. They're not fixing this. Smilegate. I give credit to where credit's good. Smilegate is good about fixing like really big issues, but when it's something that they don't really care about, they're not gonna fix it. They'll tell you they're gonna fix it, and they'll never do it. So this is not getting fixed. They're gonna wait until the actual season. They're not gonna do it right now. There's no way. They're not gonna waste their resources on that. They got bigger problems in their hands. Yeah, but that's why it's preseason. They're not gonna do it. There's no reason for them to. No one's really like no only tryhards are playing right now. All right, this one. All right, let's move on from away from some controversy, away from all this like negativity, and let's talk a little bit about story, because you guys know I like story, and I know all the people that miss the story times. We will get the story time, and yeah, Pino, there's a reason why it's preseason, and KitKat it is very sweaty right now, right? And I would agree for the legend ones. We're going to react to the live stream live. Fair is no, because they started their live stream at 4 a.m. for me, right? So no, I cannot do their live. I'll do it tomorrow if it's something good, but we'll get to that one because I don't think we're getting anything really crazy good. But all right, as far as this, I actually think this guy is pretty accurate. They never really confirmed that episode 4 was going to be Eastern Empire, or that episode 5 was going to be Eurasia, but that's the only things that we have seen for other regions, right? So Smogate does a decent job at getting Smogate does a decent job about teasing the next season, right? So things like Strasse, we knew Strasse was coming since the first year of gameplay, right? They were teasing Strasse for a very, very long time. When will we hear about the upcoming summer banner, the Avenger? I don't think we're seeing it tomorrow. I think we're going to wait for 2 weeks. I really think it's only going to be the Momo skin, and we're going to get to that in a second too. That's one of the things someone posted as well. But for this, they do tease it, so I imagine they will go to Eastern Empire. So if y'all are curious what the next storyline will be and who the main characters are going to be, so for the, I forgot what season, but we had a limited storyline with Basar, with Mui, with Firecat, and with Apocalypse Robbie, and with Ball and Sasan. Most likely, episode 4 will be following Ken and Apocalypse Robbie very closely. I think those two are going to be really big characters, which makes me really excited and hopeful that Robbie is going to get a buff. Hopefully, right? But that's most likely what the storyline will be. And there's probably going to be another world and another like big one. Me, Samurai Seria, I know, right? I'm still waiting for Samurai Seria. It's Holiday Youthing next week. So this week, I think it's filler, and then next week is the Holiday Youthing. Episode 5 will most likely be Eurasia. I don't think 6 and 10 are going to be fairies and stuff like that. My theory would be that they're going to start focusing more on the other gods. Like, you know, you guys know how Faustus is like that star thing that came the god killer and everything with like Strasse. I think there's gonna be more things. Like we still haven't cleared up a lot of that storyline, like with Ilroy. So I think they'll go back to like the different gods and everything. And I think they even teased that in episode 3 as well, with like some apocalypses still being there, right? So there is that. Oh, I thought Hyuffin was next week. I didn't know it was this week. I guess. Oh, we got the off week already. So, but that's some little lore tidbits for you. Nothing crazy. There should be some good stuff. I don't know why I pinned the art because that's nothing controversial around. All right, but we're moving on. Is Carrot balanced? Right? Oh yeah, Carrot also wasn't killed, so there's still a lot of acolytes out there. I think that storyline's not wrapped up yet. But all right, moving away from the storyline, that's something that is more speculation. But this one, is Carrot balanced? Man, the community is pretty split on this one. And, most people say she's like a necessary evil, and I tend to go towards this direction too with Carrot. Is there a dwarf in this game? Not that we know of, Yambin. But as far as Carrot, man, I don't think she's like balanced in the term, but I think she's a necessary evil kind of thing. Like, it's a unit that it's nice to get. I want more 3-star units that are viable, that are PvP viable. Because one of the things that Reddit loves to complain about is non-viable 3-star units, right? And they hate to complain about strong ML heroes, right? That's the two things that like everyone will complain about. So it's nice to have them. That aside, it's just RTA has warped immensely around her. When she's banned and you play RTA, you're like, what game mode am I playing, right? It is very, really weird. Yeah, the last podcast, it's very split. Yeah, they do complain about a lot of stuff. The only problem with Carrot is right now, right? She pushed out a lot of things out of the meta, right? If I look at all the things that Carrot pushed out of the meta, she pushed out more things than she enabled. She enabled things like Keysim and speed racing, right? She's the reason why we're getting to a very big cleave meta right now. But the big thing is that she's essentially power crept a lot of units, and she's pushed out certain units out of the game, right? So who has she power crept, right? Who did she completely kick out of the meta for the most part? I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this girl is nowhere to be seen, right? She used to be a monster, and it doesn't help that Frenzy got changed, that she doesn't get the effectiveness gain as fast anymore. Robbie, for the most part, is basically not a meta unit anymore. She's a strong unit, right? But she essentially got kicked out by Carrot, right? It's true. A 3-star power crept Robbie. Shockingly. Because Robbie was a very strong unit, but it's like, why pick Robbie when I can just pick Carrot, right? It just completely got edged out, right? She just completely got power crept. Same thing with Ken. Why would you ever use Ken? She power crept every single fire unit that she could just replace. It's like, yeah, exactly, Tab. It's like, why pick Robbie when we could pick Carrot? It's Carrot is disgusting, right? And every time I play, I'm like, this unit's dirty, right? She power crept, let's see, all Earth units, right? Alencia can never come back. Alencia may have seen some play with Maid being so popular. Can't come back. Imagine picking Alencia into Carrot. That's an int right there. That's a huge int, right? Things like LQC. Well, she's too slow. She gets stripped, and she gets burned, she dies, right? Because burn penetrates some of the defense. Burn does not crit. Y'all realize that too, right? With the LQC, even though she has this Adamant Shield passive, it's by critical hit chance, right? The burns on Carrot are going to make it so this passive is useless, right? So she's essentially faced out LQC because LQC is too slow, right? LQC takes a very... If you ban Carrot, LQC is it's fine, right? She's a good unit. But with Carrot on the board, it's like, okay, are you really going to pick LQC and just get stripped and burned and killed because your passive doesn't protect you against it, right? So it's like, doesn't help. Chu doesn't do anything because she's too slow, right? She can't kill her in time. Ken does good actually against her, surprisingly. She does good. Holiday Yufing's doing pretty good right now. Mediator Cowick. It doesn't matter if he resists, because by the time he takes a turn, their Carrot probably already went. And because Carrot is a mage that can carry book, she probably already killed your squishy. By the time that you get to get the S3 off, it's already probably dead. So why use him when he use Maid Chloe, and Maid Chloe actually revives them, right? So that's why he's basically still useless, even though he does have a good matchup theoretically. Emo Kawasu, she actually does pretty good against, or no, Higo does really good against her. Surprisingly, he's actually pretty good into her, just because his passive lets him cleanse after the S3, and you can actually do some pretty good damage onto her. She has really good single target damage. So as far as the warriors, that's nothing bad there. As far as the knights, she surprisingly, I was shocked for this one. She power crept Last Rider Crawl, which doesn't make sense to me because I would have thought Last Rider Crawl does really good into her, right? But the thing about it is they can just save the S3 and strip you. The more strippers there are, the worse that Last Rider Crawl gets. Because Last Rider Crawl, the big thing about Last Rider Crawl is long game, right? He's really good. Early game, he has a good early game burst, but over time he gets better as the game goes on, right? He has an early game burst and then gets good as the game goes on, right? Well, with Carrot in the meta, cleave has become so popular that if you pick Last Rider Crawl and you're not cleaving with him, you're going to get cleaved or you're going to get burnt and died, right? Because it's so much easier to control a Last Rider Crawl. You can get stripped because you're stripped every 3 turns, right? It's hard, right? And then with Crawl being so popular because of Carrot, again, you can see why everything can come down to Carrot, right? Because let's say you do the S3, because he's usually faster. Okay, let's say you set up S3, cool. You set up immunity, Carrot strips, cool. If you're faster. If Carrot is faster than you, one of your units is dead regardless. So it doesn't matter. Setting up immunity doesn't do anything unless you have Fallen Cecilia. He does okay, but the thing about it is, again, the big thing is that Carrot is so popular, Crow by proxy has become meta, right? So the fact that Crow is meta, now you can't pick less of a Crow because you're inting into the Crow now, right? So again, most things can be tied back to Carrot, right? Because she legit warped the meta overall, right? Commander Lorena for PvE. David, continue working your Commander Lorena. It's a fun unit, right? There's no reason to stress about RTA. Rose got power crept because of Polides. There's no reason to run her. That one wasn't actually Carrot. Crimson Robin's actually a really good unit right now, but that's not. We're just seeing who Carrot faced out. Ross just feels weird picking more fire. We already saw the warriors. The mages. She does surprisingly well into Basar because she can self-cleanse, right? And she's a fire unit, so she can just dodge. She does okay into Polides because she can strip. Since she can cleanse, she does decent into Sage Ball as well. Because the Sage Ball can burn herself on the Carrot, but he can't control her because she can't be controlled. Stena does terrible. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Stena is a lot rarer now. I don't know if this is just me. Like, and this is something that I've noticed. The only people that are still picking Stena are cleavers, and even then they don't pick her that often. Or people with Maid and with like huge protection units, right? Like, if they don't have Maid, they're not picking Stena. Because there are so many threats to Stena now. I noticed not as many people are picking her. Maybe it's just me, but I rarely see her now. Because Carrot is such a good check. Everyone has Arbiter Builder now, so people already have a natural check. So unless you have Maid, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, if you ban Carrot, it's a little bit better, right? Because you have to actually ban her threats. But it's a little bit harder to play Stena, so I'm not seeing her as much. I still think she's a great unit, right? She's still an amazing unit. But it's just a lot less. Amaro doesn't do anything against her. Fairytale does really good. We actually see more Fairytale because of Carrot. Champsy is kind of a weird one. He does okay into her. So he does okay. She kills Charon. Charon just loses to everything, right? If they have a strip, Charon loses to them. So another unit that Charon loses to. I mean, at this point, Charon's getting kicked in the ground at this point. But yeah, Stena with protection can easily be Carrot. So I usually don't see Stena without Maid, and I usually pre-ban Maid, right? I don't pre-ban Carrot, I pre-ban Maid. And because there's no Maid, it's a lot harder for people to do it, right? So it's a little bit harder to play Stena, but she's still a great unit, right? I don't think she got faced out. She's just a little bit. She has more checks now, which is good, right? She needed checks. But yeah, Charon's still on the ground. Charon players in the ground. She actually does decent because you can just dodge everything. Charon is just hard, man. It's just like you gotta have a very specific team built around him, and it's hard to draft him in there. Soul Weavers are all do good against Carrot. And then Rangers, Landy, people still pick Landy into Carrot. They don't care. Landy's too strong. Operator Sigrid does really good into Carrot, so we actually see more of her. So for the most part, it was mainly those like big units, right? So all in all, do I think she's broken? Yes. Yes. She's a very strong unit. Carrot is not a balanced unit. Now, is that necessarily a bad thing? Depends who you ask. Landy better unit than Stena? Depends on the situation, Ricardo. I personally use Stena more because I like Stena more and I know how to play her better. Landy is more commonly used because she threatens a lot more teams than Stena does. So they're different. Kitty Clarissa does okay. Kitty Clarissa is just a fun unit. She's cool. I like Kitty. She's not the greatest for PvP. She does good in Guild Wars and stuff like that because she can have such high Aphras. But she's really good for PvE. For PvP, she's high. She's usable. But yeah, she's not balanced. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing that we have a free-to-play unit that is absolutely broken, that is up for debate. Me personally, I still don't think she needs a nerf. I think she just needs more checks. I don't think there's enough units that check her. And the units that do check her, like Kise and Craw, all have workarounds, right? But yes, we will get to some of the tier list. I'm just going to go through these first, and then we'll play a little bit more. And we don't have that many left. All right. This one, State of the Game after 2 years. I don't know why this got downvoted or why these ever get downvoted because I think it's a good thing, right? There's a lot of returning players, and I don't think we should be trashing on low-tier players. Lack Gold, didn't like PvP. It's all speeds here. It's more difficult PvE content than 2 years ago. Yes, there's a lot more PvE content. All right. I don't know why this is the biggest complaint that I get from everyone. Like everyone that complains to me and asks me for advice, like their biggest thing is this. And it's okay to not like PvP, right? And it's okay to think it's CR push cleave. But aside from this past month, right? Oh, gold buff? Oh, appreciate it, Moises. Let me do that right now. But cleave has never been that powerful. Right? Like, it's always been, like, right now, yes. I will agree cleave is very strong right now. Absolutely. Absolutely, cleave is disgusting right now. It is probably the strongest it's ever been. Because it's just, they have such good units. But before the end of last season, cleave was, like, in the dumps. Right? Wow, we did not buy these yet. Thank you for reminding me, Moise, and me being a terrible, terrible guild leader. There we go. We got him. So... and that's the thing that I feel like most early game players complain about. And Kise is not good enough just mainly because you get outsped by Acids or F-Tennis. That's the problem with Kise, is it's a speed contest, right? And that's why. Kise is a good counter to Carrot, but in a draft situation, if you early pick Kise, you better trust your Kise speed because you are going to get speed contested by an Acid and you're going to lose that one. And yes, Pavel is very strong. But the thing about it, it's like, alright, I know my community because I did the poll recently. Most of you guys, right, out there, mentioned in the community that y'all were below Challenger, right? Not a lot of you guys were Champion, right? Why? What is it about cleave that, like, you guys think that everyone hates? I don't get it. I've always didn't mind cleave. I always felt like it was a good playstyle to have. But why cleave? Like, it's not even the most prevalent playstyle. It's not the most prevalent playstyle in Guild Wars. It's not the most prevalent, like, in all levels. Of course, higher up, maybe. But in all levels, it's not the most prevalent playstyle in Guild Wars. It's not the most prevalent playstyle in Arena. And in RTA, it's like, yeah, people like to cleave a lot, but they usually don't cleave good until higher up. Right? So, why? If you're someone that agrees with this guy, because I know there's some of you out there, I don't want to try to rip on y'all, because I try to see both sides of the argument. I want to let you guys kind of talk about it, so maybe I can make a video in the future, right? Of why I think cleave is bad, even though I did. I made a video already on how to counter cleave, and it's still relevant to this day. But I want to know why. They get to understand their RTA. I guess against Booster, it makes more sense. I guess cleave is pretty boring to play against, because it's just stop the cleave. Right? Cleave is like a combo decks in card games. When you lose to it, it feels like you didn't get to play the game. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see that. You don't get any turns yet. That's fair. You're just dependent on speed sets and speed gear. So, I personally, I'm not a speed player. You guys have seen the speed on my account. I'm not the fastest player out there, right? If you guys have watched me play RTA, you guys know I don't play cleave, and you guys know my units are like turtles, right? Well, they're not turtles compared to a lot of y'all, but they're not like. I don't outspeed cleave, right? Never, right? I rarely outspeed cleave. I mostly rely on like cheese tactics, right? Like things like Elena, or just bulking up and tanking up. Like I rely a lot on Elena to try to cut. I rely a lot on like Violet right now. These units stupid. I put this against cleave and just auto win. I rely on stealing picks a lot. I like to steal picks. So like if I see cleave or if I think they're cleaving me, I'll just take the Arbiter Vildred. Right? I'll just take it as fast as possible. If I see a Cerise first pick, I'm picking Arbiter Vildred. Right? Or if I see an Arbiter Builder first pick, I'm taking the Cerise away. Right? So I'm not fast, right? I'm not a fast player. I think my fastest unit is Falconeer Cleric. Right, this is my fastest unit, and this is not us beating any cleave player out there, right? So I don't know. I could see that it is annoying to play against. That I can definitely see why people don't like it. And boosters do feel like they need more thinking, and it's more draft pressure. You basically don't even get to play, and you depend on your luck with your speed roll. Wheelchair gamers unite. Yeah, Vincent, we're very slow gamers. I'm not a fast gamer. I'm a booster player. I love counter set. Banshee gaming for life. If you're not a Banshee gaming, are you playing this game right? 2 ways with tanks. Yeah, see, like, it's tough. Is it easier to build Stanner or Landy? Landy overall is easier to build than Stanner. Landy's easier to build than Stanner. There's no doubt about it. Stanner requires really good gear to do good. But I think it's really hard if you early mid game because you won't have the speed and probably don't have the key counters. That's true. That's fair. I think they need violence for certain to get out. Nice roll RNG doing the epic RAM video. Yeah, I hate roll RNG, dude. RNG sucks. I hate roll RNG. But it feels unit dependent right now. Yes, it is pretty unit dependent right now. Alright, that's fair. Okay, I can agree. Not liking, but it's not all this. That's the thing. Cleave has never been the dominant playstyle. And I've made a video on all past RTA playstyles. We have never gotten a season of RTA where Cleave was the best playstyle. If you looked at top 100 players and you broke them down into like categories like Bruiser, Cleaver, aggro, and all this stuff, most would be Bruiser or Tank, right? Almost every single season, top 100, it's gonna be Bruiser or Tank strats, right? So it's never been the most prevalent. So, but I guess for lower ranks, it is very prevalent. I will agree that when you're climbing from bronze to gold, or like from bronze to like master, everyone likes to cleave for some reason. But yeah, top heroes are usually Bruisers or Tanks. Cleave is its own thing because you usually need speed to cleave, but I could see that. Anything important? Yeah, I would say there's a lot more PvE. Again, overall, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, Epic 7 is not a PvE game. It's just not, right? It's just, I don't know a lot of people that enjoy PvE. But that may be just because of everyone in the Discord mostly talks about PvP. So all the people I talk to in the game are PvP players. But I don't think anyone enjoys expeditions. I don't think anyone enjoys, like, Kiss of Frost. Well, I enjoyed Kiss of Frost. It was okay. But it's not a PvE game, right? It's kind of one of those things that you get through once and you're done, right? You're getting stuff for PvP. You're not building units dedicated to PvE unless it's Abyss, right? Or just to clear certain PvE content. Like, you don't go, like, no one's, like, waiting for the banner, and I'm like, man, I really hope this next 5-star can help me one-shot C13. That's just me, though. That's just me. That's just me, right? I don't know. I'm not a PvE gamer. It doesn't feel that way. I don't know how many people, I could be wrong. I don't know how many of you guys are big PvE gamers and you want the next, like, there's probably someone there that's like waiting and they want, like, I want this next PvP, like this next hero that drops. Like, I don't think anyone's like, for Samurai Seria, they're like, man, I hope Samurai Seria destroys C13. Right? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's just me, though. I've always seen it PvE as a way to get to PvP. Right? So that's just me. I think some PvE is very fun. I think the best PvE content, in my humble opinion, the best PvE content they have come out with is actually Ottoman Tower because I genuinely enjoy this game mode. This game mode's amazing. No complaints here. I think this game mode's amazing. And I also think that Kiss of Frost was well done. And I think that the Daggers to Card missions are also amazing. That's a good flex, right? Because I'm a noob in PvE, and I'm not afraid to admit it. I suck at PvE. If you look at this channel, very few of my content is geared towards PvE. Because I don't try to fully understand it to make guides, right? And that's why I suck at, like, I can't find the reputation tab. But I think this is probably the PvE mains. If someone tells me they're PvE main, I expect all these to be cleared out, right? I would expect all these to be cleared out by a true PvE main. I don't have them cleared out because I'm bad at PvE. I'm not afraid to admit it. I've never considered Epic 7 a PvE game. So, but let me see some of the stuff y'all are saying. No Korea game is PvE. What is his watch stuff clear? Whoa, y'all talked a lot. Alright, let me see some of the stuff. I'm okay with this gear rolling speed. Yeah. I like speed compete with my opponent. Speed competing is always fun unless you lose it every single time. So that part kind of sucks. But yeah, why does he already made legend? He can be watched at this point. If you made legend once, you can be watched for the rest of your time. Right? So But High Speed Basara is the worst. PvE is auto only. Yeah. Guild Wars PvE I hope is good. Guild Wars PvE, and 15% should be taken out. Right? I could see certain things. Right? Reddit complains about PvE units. Auto Tower is great. Yeah. Honors haven't done it, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I think it's pretty divided, right? But for the most part, I don't know. There is stuff to enjoy in PvE, but I don't think I'd be playing Epic 7 if I didn't enjoy PvP. Right? If someone asked me, and they're like, hey, King Blair, I want a new game that is really big on PvE and has really good challenges for PvE, I don't think I would recommend Epic 7. Personally. There are really good PvE games out there, right? There are a lot of really good PvE games out there that are very challenging. And are actually enjoyable to do the PvE content. Epic 7 PvE content gets repetitive after the first time you clear it. But yeah, I mean, I hope this guy has fun. I mean, the advent side story was fun. I think it was well done. That's the one we're going to get to next. That I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, King Blair? Yeah, it's interesting. You enjoy... I know people that don't do Dagger. Dagger's so fun, though. I feel like Dagger is like the main goal. But alright, Kiss of Frost. This one, honestly, I could have picked any single one to talk about. But for some reason, people on Reddit hate this new content. And the one thing I will say that I think was kind of scummy is that we didn't get a side story. Right? We didn't get a real side story. Right? So for early game players, they are out of content for 2 weeks. The only thing is that I guess this gives early game players that can't clear this a chance to work on their units in Adventure. But then they should have done an event where Adventure drops doubles, right? For Catalysts, because Catalysts suck, right? So I definitely think if they do this in the future, I would like to see something for those early game players like double Catalyst drops, right? And free on equip events, right? I think they should implement free on equip while this event is up, or something like at least for the first weekend. They should have free on equip every single time that this side story is up, at least for that first weekend, so people can clear it and enjoy it and not have to worry about gear cost. And I think for early game players, they should do like double adventure farming for that week, right? But that aside, there is no reason to complain about the difficulty of this game mode. Why? You guys realize how shafted late game players always are? Like, late game players are usually not that vocal because most late game players enjoy PvP, right? Because we can enjoy PvP a lot. But sometimes we do like challenging PvE content, right? To break the monotony of the game. The last 4 months, we had so many updates for early game players. We had easier specialty changes. We had the free MO 5-star. We had the easier re-rolling. We had all these events for farming, right? That were really good for early game players, but for late game players, it's like, I'm just still playing the game that I've been doing for like 2 years. And this was good. This was good. This was like, come on, like, you gotta throw us a bone sometimes, right? I've been playing this game for 3 years. I want content that is genuinely challenging for me, that is fresh, and that makes me actually feel like farming was worth it. Right, this is the first time that I was like, man, I am so thankful I have a Vivian, so I could auto Hell mode, right? And then for Epic Hell, I haven't tried it, but that's because you don't even need to do the Epic Hell mode. And the thing about it is Smilegate was still nice enough, on top of all this, to do a hard mode that is clearable quite easily by mid-game players, and you can get all the rewards essentially. The only thing you can get from this are these. You can still even get the speed ones and the Ammo Summit are these. And you really don't need this that much. You can do them from Expedition, and some of these kind of suck. Right, so legit the only thing you're missing out is a couple of modifications jump stems. You can legit get everything else as a mid-game player. You don't need all the crazy units. And a lot of there's so many free-to-play teams for this, right? So it's one of those things that, like, I don't know what else they wanted. Did they want a mode that was just like everyone could clear? Because then, like, what's the point of having hard content, right? So I like what they did. I hope they don't dumb it down. I had this exact same complaint with Old Ottoman Tower. I like that Old Ottoman Tower was difficult because it made it worth it. And of course, the rewards were just incredible, right? Like, the shop, like the stuff we got was just absolutely insane, right? So it was something that was worth it. It was a quick farm. It was better than Expedition, right? Expeditions suck compared to this game mode. Like, it is hard, don't get me wrong, but we needed that, right? So it's I disagree with Reddit very strongly on this one. I don't think this event sucks. I think this event was very good, right? I think this was very good. I think it was very well made. I think everything they did was good. The only thing I would say is give something to the early game players so they don't complain for next time. Something that helps them progress their account. And also the free on equip, because it was pretty annoying that we didn't get a free on equip with this event because we had to make different units, right? So it's good. It was a good implementation. I think that's the one thing that Smilegate recently has done pretty well. This one, honestly, Tiara can come back. Yeah. Tiara could come back. There's no reason for her to still be nerfed. She's just worse Watcher, or just worse Shuri at this point. As power creep when they did the very first watch. Yeah. They kind of forgot about Tiara. So, fun fact, if you didn't know, during the first few months of Epic 7, you could clear all the content in Epic 7 with 3 3-star heroes. You could clear everything, Wyvern, Banshee, everything, by just having these 3 3-star heroes, and they were, let me see if I can find them. They were Tiara, Elson, and Elson is nuts, right? Elson used to be like attack buff and defense buff. They reverted the change on him, so like he's back to normal. He's back to full force. It's just there's a lot more buffers now, and PvE content's a lot harder. But at the time, there was no one that could do what he could do. Like this many buffs were insane. Like there's no DN, right? So it was Elson. That attack buff and defense buff every 410 was crazy good. There was Ricorous because he could lower the cooldown and you could go really fast, right? So a 3-star unit. He could lower the cooldown of your allies and speed buff, right? So you have attack buff, defense buff, speed buff, and then on top of that, you had Tiara, who, if I can find her, let me see if I can find her, used to be much faster, right? And was really good for PvP too. There she is. This used to decrease defense, by the way. This S3, they took away the decreased defense, right? So this used to decrease defense. So you had a decreased defense, attack buff, defense buff, reduced cooldown, and every time you attacked, you got a CR push of 15% for your whole team, right? So it used to be pretty nuts, right? She used to be those 3 units used to clear any PvE content, and even to this day, I really do think if they got reverted back to their full form, they could probably clear a lot of the current stuff. Yeah, she had a speed imprint too. Yeah, she was insane, right? She was just an absolute juggernaut of a unit. Yeah, and she used to be faster based stat. If they reverted the changes fully, you could still probably clear most PvE with these 3 units. From the exception of like the Hunt 13s, they're very good, right? As a whole. So it's very sad to see her fall so far. I think they could revert her and nothing would happen. Tiara looks great. I really do miss her. That were the first units to ever get nerfed in the history of Epic 7. Because they legit just would clear all PvE content. So it just killed the units. They could come back with SCs, and it'd be really cool to be able to make videos again of them kind of like showcasing how strong they were in the past. So, man, it just sucks that they did that so wrong. Expedition. Yes. So, yeah. Expeditions suck. At this point, man, let me see how many are going to waste, right? Because it's end of the month, and if you don't clear within the first 2 days, your friends are not going to clear your expeditions, right? People do the rewards and then get out, right? Look at this. I have 3 sitting there because I know no one's going to do it. Look at this. It's just sad. Look how many are going to waste, right? And this isn't just like my guild not doing it. These are friends that I have, right? Look how many are going to waste. And all these are from good guilds, right? It's active members, right? Because they're done with their rewards, and it sucks. Not having fire just killed everything, because fire was one that you could always reliably get to 20 with everyone doing it, right? If you got a fire expedition, you were pretty much guaranteed for someone to do it because the rewards are so great for fire expedition. You always need fire expedition. But now that it's these 3, people rarely even clear these, and it's just so sad to see them go to waste. This content was good for the first 2 months, and then it just got so repetitive. And the fact that you have to do this, even if you do the highest, you get 60 points, right? You need 2,000. Let's do some math, right? To fully clear this event, right? You have 6,000 points. It's gonna be really easy math that I could probably have done in my head. You need to do 60 expeditions. every single month. 60 expeditions. That's annoying. That's really annoying to have to do that. Every single month, you have to do 100 expeditions. Each expedition, on average, that's a big thing because these are a set amount, right? You have to do X amount of damage. It's going to take at least 5 to 7 minutes to clear one time for a content that you know how to clear. I wish they let you save your most recent run and let you do that. And Epic 7 is really anti-auto in content. I don't know why they're so against it. I think for Expedition at this point, I think it was cool, but what I think they should do is let you record a run, like save a run, and be able to click one button that just does that damage every single time, right? I think that's reasonable, right? Or at least on your own poster, let you do that, right? Because if you're able to do, like, at least for, like, maybe for each one, you get 10 times to just do click and do it, right? Or something. Just record your best run, right? Because then you can get super good runs, right? So maybe for the people that are really good at Earth Expedition, they could do a solo clear, right? And that would encourage people to do solo clears. You save that run, you save the damage you did to it, and then every month, let's say you get half of the time, you can get at least to 1,000 points every single time because you already did the work, right? You know you can do the work. So, yeah, skip battles will be awesome, right? So just having something like World Boss, I know World Boss sucks as a game mode, but for Expedition, after you've cleared a certain amount of times, there's no reason to do it. And this will encourage people and then drop the amount of players that can do it to maybe like 5 or 6. And like maybe just the host is the one that can do the auto skip, right? So that encourages, because right now, if a host could hit 50% and the host could post it at 50%, I'd be more willing to do it, right? If a host could do that auto run function that I'm talking about, if they could just click skip for this and get it to 50% or even lower, that'd be great. And then that way you still have people playing it and trying their best, but the host can actually get people to attack. Because I usually, for people to hit mine, if I attack my own expedition, I am very likely that people will try to finish it off because I can get it to about 50% health for almost all of them, right? So if I could do it to half health, then a lot more people will be like, oh, let me hop on real quick because it's only a half health, right? So expedition, I definitely think it needs some form of auto function, right? So at least for the host, because right now it's so repetitive. No one wants to be the first one to hit. No one wants to sit here for 5 to 7 minutes, not even get the reward right away, and then potentially just fail it, right? So having that initial run would be really nice for the host, because the host already is just posting them, right? They're not going to do it. Clearly they're not doing it unless they really want people to clear it. So I agree. Expeditions are terrible. It's a terrible game mode. It's gotten way too grindy. I like the idea of it, but there's no reason for them to have to make it to do this every month. I don't like content that is repetitive for the sake of being repetitive. And I talked about that in the video today, the top 5 things I hate. So I'm really heated about this topic because it's just the way I really do feel about it. I think they're just making it long to be long. They're making the game grindy for no reason, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Numrock, exactly. So if they could legit click a skip button that does their best run, more people will be willing to do it. So it's stupid. Expedition's stupid. And a lot of stuff that Epic 7 is very like, it's very old gacha mentality. Like Wyvern, I understand because one-shot Wyverns are very good. But things like Expeditions, they should have easier, more auto-friendly content. They're legit making content repetitive for the sake of creating quote-unquote content because it resets. So you have quote-unquote content. So I don't like that design ideology that they've adopted. We already talked about Advent. From gameplay perspective, some people will complain. Let's see. Some people are at least doing pretty good, but a lot of people complain about it, which sucks. Farming Hell stage on the new side story is literally insane for speed mode. Yes, I actually love the new expedition. This is really good. Yeah, like this is better than if it dropped like gear mats. I honestly think Advent would be, it's better designed than the current expeditions, right? Advent is actually better designed than the current expeditions. I will say that is a fact, right? Right here you can get so much more modification gems, you get better rewards, and it's quicker, right? It's just better. It's just better. Expedition is just, they show that Expedition is just trash. Can Nerf. So if you didn't know this, a lot of people are upset because they basically forced a build onto Ken. With the most recent buff, he gets CR when his S3 is on cooldown whenever he counterattacks, which means that if you didn't have F-Res on your Emoken and you were using her a lot into things like Tempasurin, right, in Guild Wars, if you had no F-Res Emoken, you can no longer use it against T-Cerns in Guild Wars because it will counter on the Fallen Cecilia and on other units and push themselves up, which means that you're not going to be able to do that, right? So this is like, yeah, it's good for, it's forcing a build onto him, which I don't like, right? They're forcing a build onto Emoken, which is not something, every time you limit build choices is not good. And people used to have really good full damage Emokens that they can no longer run because it's just gonna kill themselves, right? So that's terrible. Violet after buff. Yes, Violet is insane, right? There are ways to actually deal with them. And the big thing that's actually really good about Violet right now, I actually think right now Violet has completely powered. And this isn't a video for an idea, but I think someone's already made it. And I don't like making videos that other people already made, unless it's for a guide, right? But Violet at this point is absolutely better than Riolet, right? So if we look at Violet, there's a lot of reasons why Violet is actually better than Riolet, right? First, Riolet is more consistent. You may be wondering, but Riolet is dark, so and he has 70%. Shouldn't that make him more consistent? Well, the fact is that Violet, since he's Earth, gets 100% evasion against water, right? So that is pretty big, right? The fact that Violet gets the 100% against water is a big deal because it's a hard counter. The other thing is Violet has innate evasion, whereas Riolet can be stripped, right? And since Riolet can be stripped, it is not reliable because if you don't dodge a Cerise or don't dodge a Bazaar, Riolet is dead. If Violet gets hit by a Cerise or by a Bazaar, he doesn't care, right? Summer says it's going to be a limited unit. I think it's going to be a limited unit, HLT. They mentioned we're going to get a new Summer unit, and Isaiah is the most likely one to be a unit. Unless they make a Summer Momo as the unit, which would be crazy. And that's some speculation that I was thinking about. And I was like, what if? Hear me out. Hear me out. What if Isaiah is the skin and Momo is the new limited unit? Think about that. Think about that. But I want to talk about that because that actually irks me a little bit that she's going to be a skin pack. And I'll talk about why in a second. That really irks me. I don't think Momo should be a skin pack. that's my big that's like what I'm thinking, because you guys know how in the post for the stream they said that. I'm like, big brain time. I'm just kidding. I know that's not gonna. I know that's not what they're gonna do. But I like to make it. Yeah, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. I'm pranking. It's a joke. It's a joke. But like, think about it. Think about it. I think it'd be funny if it was Momo was the unit and Isaiah was the skin. Like, I would think it's really funny. I would think it's just hilarious. I think it'd just be really funny. You know, like kind of like an Art Team and Mercedes if they did that with Momo. So I don't know. I think it'd be funny. I don't think they should do it, but I think it'd be funny. But going back to the Violet discussion. So okay, Violet gets 100% against water. It's more reliable. His evasion can be stripped. The other thing is his S2 gives him a buff, so it's actually easier to build to get better stats on Violet because of this. Because he gets crit rate and crit damage, he also self-cleanses, right? 2 debuffs are dispelled, whereas Violet is just destroyed, right? If you get hit by a Bazaar, Violet legit doesn't care. Legitimately doesn't care, right? Whereas Violet gets hit by a Bazaar, he's crying. If Violet gets hit by a Bazaar, you automatically lose, right? And then, of course, the S1. The other thing, fun fact, Violet's S3 does more damage than Violet's S3. Let that sink in for a second. Violet's S3 does more damage than Violet's S3. At full focus, of course. You don't believe me? Let's look at the damage calculator. I saw this and I was like, what the hell? Alright, so let's get them in here, right? Let's get Violet. Let's get Violet first, right? And let's give Violet standard Bruiser, Rylet stats, so 3,000. Oh, but that's an imprint. So 3,800 attack, right? That's pretty standard on Rylet. 250 crit damage, right? He attacks with increased attack, right? That makes sense. And let's do it on a Bruiser with no damage mitigation, right? So let's say you're hitting a Robbie for some reason, right? And no elemental advantage, nothing crazy, just a standard attack on a Bruiser. You're doing 1,208, 12,000, right? 13,000, right? Now let's look at Violent with the exact same stats. Oh wait, did this? Oh, it's not a mass focus. Violet does more damage, and Violet doesn't penetrate defense. Nice. Nice. So imagine a unit that exact same stats, right? Violet, almost 15,000 at mass focus. Remnant Violet, 13,000. Just let that sink in. Violet penetrates 50% of the defense. Violet doesn't. Just think about that. Think about that. If you didn't know that, now you know. Violet's S3 damage is out of this world. Insane. And he can get that almost every single time he takes a turn. Whereas Remnant Violet only gets it turn 1 and has to wait until he gets hit 5 times. Violet can get hit twice and he's there. Right? Yeah. So, yeah. Violet sucks. Why use Violet when you can use Violet? So yeah. It's tough. It's tough for Violet right now because max stack Violet, which you can get here very fast, does considerably more damage, right? Against the exact same target. So take that as you will. Yeah. So yes, Rylet is power cut by his grass version. The only reason you're using Rylet is if you're trying to one-shot things like mid Chloe, because Rylet can be a little bit faster, right? I honestly think that Rylet lifesteal build is gonna get phased out by Rylet's damage build at this point. I think speed Rylet build is gonna be the better build for Rylet, right? Because at this point, Rylet gets countered by things that stripping him. Rylet doesn't do as much damage as his green counterpart. So it's like, why pick Rylet when you have Violet? So make Rylet more of an opener, right? Because he still has a very strong opening versus Violet. Because Violet does have to dodge at least once, right? To get that initial S3. But for Rylet, he still has very good early game strike damage, right? So pretty rough for Rylet. Especially because if we look at mine, right? Because I have them both on a Bruiser build. And they're both on like pretty good sets, right? My Violet is not only tankier than my Rylet, it also is going to do more damage, right? So if I look at both of them, and they both have like the same quality of gear, pretty much. Oh, and on top of all that, Violet dodges every single time he dodges, right? Whereas Violet has to wait 5 times. So this is my Violet, 3,600, 2,063. And then like 1313. And then my Rylet is not even 3,600. A little bit more crit damage. So about the same offensive stats. A little bit more speed, but significantly less defense and HP. And when you look at Rylet, he has to wait 5 times before he uses the skill. Violet can do it every time he evades. He's doing an S1. And the S1 damage is pretty good. Right? If we go back to Violet, the S1 is doing 5k. Against that target we talked about. 6k every single time. Whereas Rylet needs to do what? You have to hit Rylet 5 times. Whereas Violet only has to hit, it just has to dodge once, right? And Rylet does 12,000. So after 3 evasions from Violet, you already did more damage than a Rylet S3. So, yes, the math, it's there. So this person is right. Violet is insane right now. He's an incredibly strong unit. It's just ridiculous how good he is. Rylet can still function as a speed unit. I think his lifesteal variant is pretty much out the gate at this point. I think Rylet should just commit to the full damage build because he can actually get better damage stats than Violet and can make more use of those heavy damage stats. But I think that his lifesteal build at this point is basically phased out by Violet. It's just the way it is. So it's pretty interesting. But by the numbers, Violet does more DPS than Rylet, right? Yes, Solitaria still counters Violet just because Violet can't get focus. Which sucks because that means he can't S3, and S3 is the main way he does damage. But again, if Solitaria misses and you counter on her, it's kind of rough for her. And Solitaria does AoE every turn. So after turn 2, you're probably going to be killing the Solitaria, right? So there is that. So that's pretty insane. I just wanted to share that. I might make it into a video still because I think it's very interesting that's how strong Violet really is. People underestimate how much damage Violet's full focus S3 does. This one, I completely agree. Robbie, I would say, is the worst ML hero. Hear me out. Hear me out. Yeah, I'm already hearing you typing, right? You're like, but King Blair, what about Judge Keeson? But King Blair, what about X Unit? When we look at all the ML heroes, all ML heroes have a niche that they can fulfill, right? Even the ones that we don't think are that good. When you look at someone like Judge Keeson, she still does incredibly well in Guild Wars. She's actually a unit that a lot of people still use for Guild Wars because she's that strong. And in some arena situations, if there's no Polides, she also still a very strong unit. I still see people attacking me with Judge Keeson, right? So she still has her niche, right? She still has a place in the current meta. Emo Ken, right? Emo Ken does good against certain forms of cleave. Whether you like it or not, he is still a cleave counter, right? He's still a cleave counter. Right? He still has his niche to fill. Silverblade Araminthia. I made a video on her, which didn't do too good because I didn't do commentary on it. And I kind of regret. I knew when I posted that video it wasn't going to do good. Just because I knew that I didn't do commentary on it, and I should have. And like when I was editing the video, I was like, man, I really should have done commentary on this. But I really wanted to try it just to see how it would do. So it was kind of one of those things. But Silverblade Araminthia has a niche. She's a really good control unit. I use her. She's really fun. I like her a lot. She has her niche. Robbie? Right? What does Robbie do? What's her niche? When would you ever pick Robbie? Like, seriously answer me that question. In what situation would you pick Robbie over any other unit in this game? That's a legitimate question. I want to hear what you guys think. Because that's like, it's okay to have niche units. Right? I think that niche units are okay. Right? So, there is no situation where Apocalypse Robbie is better than any other unit in this game. She has no identity. She has no niche. She's legit a meat shield that does damage. And there are a lot of meat shields that do damage. Right? The only thing she realistically does damage, and other units do that better. If you say the revive, there are units that revive better than her. Right? And yeah, I agree, Sassy Gamer. I agree. I should just leave it up to them. I'm gonna stick to doing my commentary fights. I missed out on the last one. So right now, it's kind of like she has no role. She has zero role in the current meta. She's a bad unit. And people can argue, oh, but she can hit hard. No. If you ask anyone that legitimately has invested into an AA later, Jake. Good night, bro. But it's sad. It's sad. She is arguably the worst unit, right? In the current game mode. And that sucks, right? It is just what it is. She is the worst ML hero. Even compared to Mediocre Coward. Mediocre Coward still has a role. Yes, he has to compete against Maid Chloe for it, but it's still a role he can fulfill that other units can't, right? He still serves a purpose. There are still situations where ML Coward may actually be better, right, than some other units in this game. Again, there is not a single situation where Robbie is better than any other unit in this game. Same thing with Ken. Ken is also pretty power creep. There are two paths that they can go with Robbie. My personal thing is Robbie, it's Apocalypse, right? It should be, and the S3 animation is just ridiculously sick, right? When we actually look at her S3 animation, it looks like destruction, right? She's a god of war, right? Look at that. She looks like a demon. The best stylistic choice that makes the most sense for me that they should do for her is make her a light counter, right? That's it. That's all they need to do. You guys know what they did with Axe God? Y'all know how they made Axe God give CR push when they get hit? You know how they made his S3 penetrate light units defense? You know how they gave some of his things extra damage when he attacked light units? Do that to Robbie, except don't butcher her ratios, right? If you do that, then she has a presence on the board. She has a role to fill, right? If they made this S3 penetrate the defense of light heroes by a certain percentage, then she's actually threatening the board, right? She's actually there to threaten the board. Let's say you're going against mid Chloe. She can survive that initial burst, come in and potentially one-shot the mid Chloe and revive an ally. That is threatening. That feels like war. That feels good, right? It feels like it'd be good in that scenario. That'd be really cool. That would be awesome. That'd be awesome. The S1, what I like to see for the passive as well, give her Crimson Seed on her passive. Give her Crimson Seed. Or make it so she gets some CR push some other way, right? Maybe when you're over 50 focus, right? Because Fury right now, you get nothing out of getting Fury. Maybe when you're over 50 focus, every time you get hit, get like 15% CR push. So now it's scary. I'm like, man, if I have to kill this Robbie and she counterattacks, then she's getting some push-ups, right? Then it's scary, right? Then she's threatening, right? Right now she doesn't threaten the board. You can ignore her. She's not going to do anything to you, right? You can just wait for her till later. If she counterattacks, okay, cool. What do you get? More focus? For what? Survive being a little bit more annoying for a little bit longer, right? There's nothing crazy about that. This one, no support at all, right? It should do something against light heroes or something. Something. They need to give her something. And the best thing that I think they should do it is commit to her design as a war person. Make her so she's something that, like, as the fight goes on, it gets more threatening. Make it something that you can't ignore her. Because if you ignore her and it gets to late game, she can pressure the board. That'd be really cool because she's supposed to be like a war god, right? And a war god revels in units dying and things happening. Make it feel that way. Make her have a presence on the board the later the fight goes. Make it not be something that just like after like a certain amount of turns you just ignore her and then just one-shot her because Frenzy stacked up and she doesn't do anything to you, right? Make her actually be threatening. Make it act like Ravi does a really good job. I honestly feel Ravi's kit makes more sense for a Ravi than it does on Ravi. If Ravi's kit was on a Ravi, it'd be really cool, right? Because Ravi does a really good job at like this ramp up threatening thing that you cannot ignore for too long or it becomes too threatening. That's what I feel a Ravi should have been, not the other way around, right? That's what I think they really need to commit, or commit to the darkness aspect of it in like she can destroy light units, right? So I don't know, man. She needs something, and she needs something bad because I would argue she is the worst MO hero out right now. Out of all the only units, she is the best hero out right now, right? That's the worst one for the MO heroes. And that's just a fact. There's no other MO hero that does as poorly as she does, right? That has no role, has no reason, no niche, no nothing, right? Even Solitaria has a niche. So I agree. This person, I agree wholeheartedly. She needs a buff. And she's not going to get it because not enough people complain about it. Although I'm seeing more. I'm seeing a lot more and more people complaining about a Robbie not being strong. So I am very hopeful that they will give her the buff the next patch. Because who else they going to buff? I mean, they'll buff the Prayer Sigrid. Maybe next patch, they're going to buff like what? I don't know. Who is an MO hero that doesn't really need a buff? They're going to buff Ameru. Watch. Next patch, they buff Ameru. Right? That's what's going to happen. Knowing Smogit, that's what they're going to do. Buff Ameru. That's what they're going to do. Instead of buffing her, they'll buff Ameru. So, I don't know. This one already talked about how long do I think E7 will last. I answered this, but that's just because I really wanted to see what people would say. So, if how many days does it have left before it dies, right? How many years does it have left? Easily 4 to 6 years. Why do I think this game has so much potential? As far as earning revenue, they still have like over 1 million. As far as like the YouTube channel, we're still constantly growing, right? And I strictly only do Epic 7 content right now, right? That may change in the future because, I mean, there's a lot of really good games coming out there that I'm really excited about. But the channel's still growing. People are still watching. I'm still getting more and more views as time goes on, right? So I don't think the game will die within a year. They're making a lot of revenue, right? 2 to 3 years, it's not really it's unlikely. But 7 to 9 is actually more reasonable as well. So I think at least 4 to 6. And the reason why I say this is because I don't know if y'all guys knew this, but the old game I used to play, which is Summoner's War, right, already has 7 years under its belt, and it's still going dummy strong. And this game has some really old gacha things that are quite toxic. So it's a very good game, right? I still think it has a very long time. Like, think about it. Summoner's War is still chugging and doing good, right? So I still think it has at least 4 to 6 years, if not 7 to 9. I think they might actually get to their 10-year plan, assuming they don't do anything botched. I will say a lot of late game players have a very negative view of the game because we've played for so long, right? So a lot of people in the Discord are getting kind of tired, right? So it's something that people get tired, and like for me, right? Or for people I know, they're like, game's dead, because like they just feel like it's repetitive. But what people don't realize is every day we are still getting a lot of new players. And I know it because of the videos, right? Every time that I make a guide or something like that for the earlier game players that may not have updated content, and I see a lot of new players, right? And I'm seeing a bigger influx into the Discord of a lot of new players coming in, right? So there's still a lot of new players coming in that are enjoying the game, right? It's one of those things that, like, it's the vocal minority, right? Where the vocal minority is unhappy with a lot of the things, but for the most part, most people are pretty happy with the game, right? Even though we're at a content drought, for an early game player, it's still crazy good because they got so many events. Man, it's great. This is already talked about. I think these two might be the last one. Oh no, there's still a couple more that I wanted to go through. The early game's still fun. Yeah. I don't think it's a dead game. There's a lot of people complaining about the event. Exactly. That shows how many early game players there are. This one. So this is gonna go a little bit more into like a full gacha view. And I know a little bit, I don't know about too much about Kingsense, but I do know about Punishing Gray Raven. But I'll be completely honest with y'all. I can tell that Epic 7 is a lot of people's first gacha games. Right? Why do I say that? Because of the thing that people complain about Epic 7. Right? There's a lot of stuff that people complain about Epic 7, and I've seen complaints about Epic 7, and they say that Smogate is stingy, and I'm like, what? Smogate may be many things. Right? Smogate may be many things, but they are not stingy. That's the one thing I have to say they are not stingy on, and they're decent at admitting when they're wrong. Right? They're pretty good about that. If you ever played any other gacha games, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right? This game is very generous. And I can tell people have not played other gacha games because they will complain about this game not being generous. And I'm like, what are you talking? They'll be like, oh man, they extended the maintenance by 12 hours and they only gave us a 5-star ticket. And I'm like, dude, you realize in any other gacha game, if you get a 5-star ticket, people will lose their minds. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy how generous this game really is. Right? So it's tough. It's crazy. That's why Epic 7 is still so strong. Why it's still going so strong. And why at this point the game is still alive is because Smogate is very generous. Which shows that more games should be more generous. And quick side rant here, but Punishing Gray Raven devs, I think, are really messing up. I don't know. I don't understand some game companies that come out the gate with a very strong release and then they get greedy right off the bat. I don't get that. I don't get why people do that. You have an amazing IP that you can have for a very long time and they're like, nah, let's make it a cash grab. I don't get why games do this. I really don't understand that. Punishing Gray Raven is a great game, but some of the drama, like the way that the company responded, I'm like, are you guys like, who is your monetization, people? Right? Like, what are y'all doing? I don't get how companies are so greedy, man. Like Nexon? How is Nexon still in business? Right? So it's just, man, I don't know, man. That's a quick rant. Like, companies like Nexon, I don't know how they make money, but I'm gonna tell you right now, never play a Nexon game. Even like Counterside, if y'all notice, I never played Counterside, and I never planned to play Counterside, and I never promoted Counterside or never talked about Counterside, because Counterside is a Nexon owned game, and I guarantee you before year 1, it's already gonna be a cash grab, because every Nexon game dies within the first 1 or 2 years. Companies just don't, there's so many gacha companies that don't know how to like think long term. It's stupid. And yeah, Punishing Gray Raven has too much controversy for a recent release. They did so good on the first 2 days and then they messed up. Unknown character, yeah, we were kind of spoiled. It's a generous as generous as SG. Yes, SG is super generous. Yeah. So it's good. It's good. I think it's more gacha games should be like this. I think more gacha games should be like Epic 7. That's why as far as like gachas, this is why Epic 7 is still one of the biggest ones. Right? This is the reason why Epic 7 has gone so strong and has actually challenged Summoners War, is because they're very good about listening to community. They're really good about being polite. They're really good about keeping things relatively balanced. As much as like people love to hate on RTA, it is relatively balanced. Right? Relatively. Right? It has a decent environment where a lot of people can actually get it. And the fact that they made it so the skin you can get it by just being masters, that is very generous. Most games, you need to be like champion level to get the skin. Right? So imagine if the skin was actually champion. That's how other games are. You don't get that RTA skin unless you're champion. Think about how much more of a pay-to-win game it would be. Right? This game is not pay-to-win at all. So, and yeah, the premium pass is not even like premium. It's easy to get. Masters is hard, I know, but like it's not even that bad, right? It's doable. Versus these other games, imagine if they got to champion. That's why I quit Summoner's War, because Summoner's War, man, as much fun I had with Summoner's War, to get the skin, you have to be like Guardian. That's what they call their champion there. And it was extremely hard to get that, right? It was super hard, and there were so many whales. Like this was a whale game mode, right? When you play other gacha games PvP, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll understand what I'm talking about. So there's that. Yeah, Ken Fem, I agree. I think that's a video on its own. So quick side note before we continue. Like and sub, of course, I always ask them. But one thing I do want to ask you guys, since I see there's a lot of viewers, I know I mainly only play Epic 7. And I know I've talked about this like every other month. I'll talk about this. But would you guys be interested if I covered other gacha games? Because I do play a lot of other gacha games. I don't just play Epic 7, clearly, because sometimes there's no content. So I was wondering if that's something that y'all are interested in, me playing other games. If like you guys watch me because I'm knowledgeable in the game, or do you guys watch me because you like me as a content creator? That's always what I struggle with, which is why I'm always hesitant to do something new, is because I'm always worried that you guys don't watch because you like my commentary, but you guys watch because I'm knowledgeable in Epic 7. That's the thing. And I don't like making things I'm not knowledgeable in, which is also why I'm like a little bit more hesitant in certain things. I would never play FGO. I would not play FGO. No, like things like Alchemy Stars, right? That just came out, or like new gacha games, because I played enough that like I know decent. So what other games do I play? Too many, dude. Right now I'm playing My Hero Academia, the strongest hero, and I'm actually doing pretty good in that game. I play Alchemy Stars. I play PRG. I'm trying it out. Hopefully it doesn't flop. And I'm playing Legends of Runeterra. I played Guardian Tales, which I think is an amazing game. So there's a lot of the stuff that I do. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll try it. We'll try it. We'll try one of these days. But I'll have to. I'm always wary of it. But it's like the cooking videos. I'll put myself out there and I try. And sometimes it flops, right? And whenever a video flops, I do get pretty sad. Like with the cooking videos, they never do good. Even though although the positive reaction that y'all give is enough for me to want to make it. But okay. That aside, let's go back to what you guys are here for, which is Epic 7 Reddit hot takes, which I don't know why more people don't do this. It's pretty fun, actually, because Reddit is an interesting place to bring up discussion topics. Let's see. We talked about this in the most recent video. I don't want to get more into it, but TLDR, they say they can't remove it, but they say they're going to remove it for new content. That was a lie. They lied to us, which they do sometimes. You know, it's a hate-love relationship. The new Advent story has innate 15%. I thought it wasn't. I thought they said that the new side event, the new PvE would not have 15%. That was a lie. Because this is new content. That has 15%. Why didn't they remove it? Why? Why, Smilegate? Why? You told us they were going to remove it, but then you didn't. So it's like, we already talked about this. It irks me. It doesn't make me happy. The Emperor Mexican. Golden God, give me a second, because, okay, I cannot believe y'all haven't watched this. It's the video that's on my channel. It's like the main video. Hold up. I won't show all of it, but yeah, I've done like 3 cooking videos at this point. Let's see. How do I see myself as a viewer? That's the thing I'm always like, how do I do this? Oh, I can just go in private. Hold up. That's the smartest thing to do. Just go incognito, look myself up. There's no way you guys haven't seen it. Oh, I guess it doesn't show it. Wait, it's not showing it? Wait, that actually makes me kind of sad. What? What? This actually makes me really sad. But yes, I have done these in the past.
Eating high quality
Okay, hold up.
food from
Let me move
cat
this
food.
out. I have done this. It was a fun video. I like making these type of videos. I have a lot of fun. It gives my girlfriend and me something to do on weekends. But yeah, I made it the seaside specialty drink. And I also made one for Genshin Impact too. It's doing a lot better now. But yeah, it was a good time. It was pretty good. I'm gonna try the real recipe though. Because this is the side recipe, it's not the real recipe. This is something I concocted. Where they have released the official recipe, but it's not alcoholic. I'm surprised I haven't seen this. What was the other one I did? I did a... Oh man, let me see if I can find this. Yeah, I also did an Epic 7 theme drink. Which is like, that one I also concocted on my own. Yeah, see?
Alright, so...
And my girlfriend actually edited these videos, so it actually has like better editing than any King Blair video you'll ever see in your life.
Ingredients. As easy as possible.
So it's actually good. It's like actually well edited, and I think it's pretty funny.
We just got the meat, we toss it, we toss the chili, and we it just kind of cooks there. And
I don't know. I really like these videos, even though I know not a lot of people watch it. But okay, I'm getting super off track. So let me read some of the stuff. Yeah, I did it incognito. So, my hero, would you recommend playing it? Toxic, my hero, MHH, the strongest hero. It's not a free to play friendly game. So if you're not someone that wants to be free to play, you're not gonna be able to do good without being free to play in the new My Hero Academia game, right? So just know that it's not a PvE friendly. It's not a free to play friendly game. So yeah, I don't know why it's not showing. So maybe when there's no stream, it'll show there. So I have made other ones, so it's fun. Your cooking channel, TBH, and just post lots of videos about it. I suggest separate your cooking channel. Yeah, but it's right now I'm not big enough to make my own channel. Right? I'm sorry I got distracted. I know we're supposed to be talking about Reddit stuff. Wish you had how edit. She'll be very happy when I tell her that. But yeah, she knows she's better at me than editing. She has her own YouTube video too, YouTube channel. She's almost monetized too. Yeah, new game came out, so it's fun. It's fun. It's fine. New channel for it. Yeah. I might try to be more consistent with it. Maybe I'll make a new channel for it. I don't know. If I made a new channel, the only thing, it's like most of you guys wouldn't see it unless I really promoted it. So, but that's fine. I'll try it again in the future. I have tried things in the past. That's all I want to say. I also made dancing videos. So, okay, let me go back to the Reddit discussion. Let me wrap this up, this side conversation. TLDR, I'm someone that likes trying future things. I'm someone that actually likes trying a lot of stuff. And I sometimes put myself out there. The only thing is, like, I do get a little disappointed, although I kind of expected it, because those videos don't do at all. Yes, y'all don't even know me. They get hidden because I make so much content, right? Which is why I've tried clearing up the channel a little bit. Last thing before I get sidetracked. It's probably because it doesn't get... I did dance, though. Let me see if I can find it. It was such a great thing. It was so good. Wait, let me... Y'all are distracting me. Man, I'm supposed to be doing Reddit hot takes, and I'm over here getting distracted. I promise I'll go back to it very shortly. I'm just going to have to manually go through this because I don't think... I know I have a playlist for it, so let me actually see if I have it in my playlist. Popular uploads. Did I take it off? So I took it off. Okay, I usually had a tab there that was like other tab, right? Which I might actually put back. Let me make sure that you guys don't see anything that you're not supposed to, and then I'll showcase it. And I'll show the video. Give me a second because I know I have the playlist. I just want to make sure that there's nothing that it's like super private that you're not supposed to see. Oh, there it is. That's easy. I used to have this. I don't know why it's not showing. Interesting. I'll have to change that. It's a good thing we had this conversation because I do other stuff besides Epic 7. See, I've tried. This is the other stuff I've tried. This is just me. This was my own thing. I don't know what this is here. This shouldn't be here. That's not mine. But, oh, it's not in this one? Okay, so I need to add it there too. Man, this is going to take me a while to look up. I promise. I know. Some of you guys that are just here for the Epic 7 content are like, oh man, is he gonna get back to this Reddit stuff, or is he gonna be scrolling through his channel for 10 hours? Last thing, and then I'll wrap it up. Promise. It happened a long time ago, which is why it's probably not showing up. It was during the so this is Summoner's War. Right here. It was for the competition that they made. The promise. Epic 7 promise. It was really bad editing at the time because I was bad at editing. But it was, I just did it like pretty quickly. And this is the bloopers. But yeah, I dance kind of. I used to. I've gotten a little bit thicker since last time, so I don't do it as much. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna stop getting distracted. We're gonna go back. I am terrible at keeping track of stuff. But yes, I have danced. It was for the Epic Promise cover, so I've gotten a little thicker than the past. I also have like some from high school, but okay, let's go back. I know you guys are getting bagged. The guys, sorry if I completely went off to what the video's supposed to be about today. So okay, let's go back. All right. So okay, this is the one that is kind of disappointing and why I'm not excited about tonight. So every 2 weeks they have a live stream of what's coming next, and this is the one they had was showing the Montmorency skin, but every other time they've shown the new hero. So Viseria is the new hero, they didn't show her, which means they're probably not getting any news on her, right? So it's kind of one of those things that makes me kind of sad because the past 2 live streams have been very underwhelming. Oh, am I right? Is it because I'm shy? Yeah. But the past few have been very underwhelming. The past few streams. And the fact that it's going to be more underwhelming streams is just kind of saddening in a way. Because it's just like, when are we going to find out something new, right? Something cool. So no SC, right? The new SC just hasn't, like, when are they going to release the next SC? Right? When are they going to talk about Iseria, the collab? Right? There's so many things that they haven't released, and it's kind of like the fact that it messed up this bad. They teased so much good stuff, and that good stuff hasn't come out, right? The past live streams, not the game. The game, like, admin was really cool. I really like admin. Strasser release was awesome, but no specialty change, no new announcements on like the summer units, no summer events. That's the big one too. Yeah, it's lagging right now on my side. So give me a second. Yeah, the stream lagged for a second. My computer has been chugging a little bit too hard recently. So all in all, it's like no new SC. We did get new content, which is nice. We get Strasser, but like no new banner heroes. So King Warhol or Abyssal on Sage Ball? I would say Abyssal or Proof on Sage Ball for RTA. I think both are pretty good options overall. But yeah, it's just depressing. I mean, there's still cool stuff, right? But the streams are like not great recently because they're just kind of repeating the same things over and over again. So this is pretty much it. The one thing I want to talk about is this. So the Momo skin is likely to be an epic pass. So the big problem with that is, yeah, I'm King Blair. Yeah, the lag right now is terrible. I'm pretty sure my internet is just having some issues. I promise you're not missing anything super crazy. But the reason why it irks me that they're making the Momo skin in Epic Pass is because she will be the first 3-star unit that is a pass. And that's not good when we know that we've gotten, let me see a skin pack, right? Or the skins. These are fine, right? Like 4 stars are fine, you know, Arcades. But the only other 3-star skin we've gotten was Aether, right? If I can find it. And this skin was a free skin. This was a free skin. Why are they making the new Momo skin an epic pass? This was free. 100%. We got it for playing the game. And it's nice because, like, it's cool to get free cosmetics. I think that it encourages you to do that. Well, maybe we'll go to lucky streams. Yeah. Streams are rough. But, it's just sad. Why is it not a free skin? Why is it not a free skin, right? It should be. It's a 3-star. Right? Why do they take so long to release skins? I don't get that either. Why does it take them so long to release skins? They're not changing anything. Right? Okay, although I will admit the recent skins have been pretty hot fire. That's what I want, Revan. I really hope that she is free and Clarissa is the one getting the epic pass. Yeah, I remember too. Like, I don't know. It's just saddening. I don't think that 3-star should ever be a paid skin. I really hope it's like Araminthia skin, Lot's skin, Clarissa skin, and that Momo comes as a free skin. That would be really cool. And it'd be fun. But yeah, the skins are not even that crazy, right? Like, even like Basarda didn't change anything. Most of these skins are legit just like dresses. I do not get why it takes them so long to make these. The only skins I will say were well made. Violet skin actually changes a lot. It actually changes the animations by quite a bit. For some of them, right? For the new ones, I will say. For the new ones, I will say that some of the new skins have looked really clean. Like, Violet was very well made. Bunny Charon was not that well made. That was alright. It's just a reskin. There's nothing, like, super new for his animations. I didn't see the Luluka. I haven't seen Akades is basically the same. And the other one's, like, the Epic skin. Oh, the Rose skin also looks really sick, right? Like, she actually has better particle effects, which is really cool. And then the Ruel skin. Oh, man, this skin is godly. Like, this skin's ridiculous. Like, all the Epic skins are really great. No complaints about Dark. Like, they change voice lines. It's really cool, right? But that's why it's epic and heroic, right? The heroics are cool. But even the heroics don't always have, like, that much particle changes. Like, this skin is... There's no, like, particle changes, right? And it's a quote-unquote epic skin. For Charles, there's no particle changes, and it's heroic, right? I would expect rare skins to legit just be a reskin, right? So, like, 3 stars makes sense. Just a straight-up reskin. Right? For 4 stars, I expect some particle changes to the animations. Right? I know it takes a little bit longer, but it would be cooler, right? If they could do that. And then I would expect the epic skins. The epic skins are doing great. The worst one they've had is this one. This is probably the worst epic skin because there's, like, not really any particle effect changes. The voice lines, I feel, actually got worse. The voice lines got worse. Definitely got worse voice lines than we did before. This is probably the most disappointing one. And, like, it just looks weird. It's like, why does she have no leg armor? Right? What happened to her? Why is it see-through? Why? There's no reason for this to be see-through. This should be a normal skirt. There's no reason. I don't get it. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's kind of weird. It almost looks like she forgot to put her pants on. This is probably the worst skin that they've put out. Right? By far. The worst epic skin is that one. All the other ones are pretty fire. No complaints on that one. But I know it takes some time to do this. But I would realistically have expected Smilegate to be able to get 1 skin every month, if not 2. Right? Is that really, like, I don't know if there's anyone that actually does, like, model animations and stuff like that. Is it that hard to make a reskin? Is it really that hard? Because, like, or particle changes. Like, I'm being serious. If there's anyone out there that knows, I don't think it's that bad. It's that hard. Because you already have the model. You have, like, the things. All you need to do is you get the sketches. You can probably make very slight adjustments. But then again, I'm not very versed in that stuff. So if you're someone that is... And you're like, yeah, it actually takes a lot more work than you would think to do reskinning and stuff like that. Then I would be like, okay, I get it. But it's something that, like, once a month, like, if that's, like, one person is in charge of skins, or even a team of 3, right? So, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if there was more paid skins, honestly. I wouldn't mind if there was more paid skins if they just made more skins, but that looked good, right? If they had a team. Like, plus 200 parts for 1 skin, I guess. We need 3 skins in a month. I don't know, man. I just think that 1 a month makes sense. But I do agree that it's not worth it economically for them. But I would be happy if they did 1 epic pass every 2 months. If they did a paid skin every month. Like I would not mind if for summer they released a summer skin pack that was $30 where you got 3 summer skins. I would pay for that. 100%. 100%. If they released a summer pack that had like even if it was $50, if they gave me Momo, I don't know, Iseria skin, and like something else that had different particle effects, I would 100% $50 for a pack like that. But right now it's too expensive. Right now it's dumb. No one's gonna spend for it, right? They're not that good to spend for, right? The only one that I would say is like a $20. This is a $20. Like in thinking like I just keep thinking like League of Legends, right? Skin wise, an epic skin in League of Legends is what, $25-$30. So let's say it's a gacha game. Let's make it $30. I'd pay $30 for this skin. I would pay $30 for this skin. I would pay $15 for this skin. And I would pay like, I would honestly pay $10 for this one. And if it was in a pack where I could just buy it for $50 or $60, oh yeah, I would be spending a lot more. A lot more. I definitely think Smilegate, that's something that I think Smilegate dropped the ball on. Because I again, I don't work in animation, but I think if you had a team of like 10 people, which is, I mean, they're a multi-million-dollar company, right? They have a team of 10 people working on skins and releasing every month, they would be making pretty good money, right? The Tuli World would take a redraw for a custom and new cleanup. It's around 8 to 12 drawings per second. Yeah, exactly. I feel like I would buy skins. If there was packs to buy skins and there was skins consistently to a point where I couldn't get the ones I wanted, like all the other games, I would 100% spend in it. I would pay. There's a lot of whales that would pay. There's a lot of whales that would pay. If there were more and like the skins were like if all the skins were like Violet level of animation, Violet was probably one of the better skins that was done. And Rose, I would 100% pay for that, right? Like, I think they could definitely make their money back. But yeah. I think it could be potential, but I think they're scared. So, and it might be a little bit harder than I'm thinking, right? So there are skins that just change the sprite a little bit, or like they could even do cosmetics. Like what if for RTA there was a shop that you could put bunny ears on your characters? You don't have to add it to the animation. I wouldn't mind if they drop it, but like if you show the character model, like man, can you imagine if you could get Arbiter Vildred like I don't know, like a suit? Lobby skins for like RTA rewards? I know it's stupid, but I'll take anything, man. Just feed us something. Just feed us more cosmetics, man. Hats. Yeah, give my Arbiter Builder a fedora. Can I get my Arbiter Builder to get a mustache and a fedora? But I don't know, man. I don't know. Royal skin I think would definitely be a $30 skin. Like Stene, like things that change voice. I would use the League of Legends pricing. Maybe a little bit more if they wanted to do it. But I know it's a lot of editing. I get that. I know like League of Legends compared to Smilegate. Smilegate is probably like a 200 person company, whereas League of Legends is like a 1,000 plus company, right? So I know it's comparing apples to oranges, but I don't know. I'm not that big into like animation, so I wouldn't know, but I think it'd be really cool to see it. So again, I don't know how we got to that, but it would be cool if they could do more. I know animations are hard. I know it's a pain, but it'd be cool if they could do more stuff with it. I wish they did more with the pets. I wish my pet could cheer me on. Like an RTA, can you imagine if every time you enter like an arena fight, if like your pet could be in the side? Like, can you imagine this little pet, every time you get stunned, he makes that little face of like waking up? That'd be cute, right? It would make, like, imagine if he did that when you hit like a gap. Can you imagine a little pet, every time you hit a gap, he did a little animation? That'd be so cute. That'd be really cute, right? I think that'd be fun. That'd be really cool if the pets could be there to like motivate you, right? And you could see them be like, what the heck? I don't know. I think it could be cool. I think they wasted some animations of that. But all right, that aside, it is what it is. I think that's it for the ones that I had saved up. But there are a couple more things I wanted to do, right? So recently there have been a lot of new tier lists that come out, and one of them was actually a Reddit tier list. I couldn't find it, but someone actually posted it in my chat, and they're like, what do you think about this tier list? This is Reddit's tier list, by the way. Someone in Reddit made this tier list, and for RTA, and when I saw this, I was like, Oh man, there's some things that were okay, and some spins that were like, what? So okay, the way they did this was C, B, A, S, and triple S. Whenever I see triple S, I immediately assume that this is like way better than S. Like this is something that breaks the game, right? May can be an SSS. Ro is not SSS. I'm sorry, I don't know who lied to this person, but she's not more broken than any other. Oh, make it larger. All right, let me zoom in a little bit more. It's a little bit blurry because like it was a screenshot of a tier list from Reddit. But she's not like when you think SSS, you think Maid Chloe, you think Carrot. Those two, yeah, they deserve to be up here. Basar, I could argue could be here. Landy, I would argue could be here as well. RB, you could argue could be here as well. F10, you could argue could be here as well. All the other ones in this tier list could go down. Those that I just mentioned could probably stay in S. Like they are a league above these other ones. These are not SSS heroes. Barwich is not an SSS hero. Is she good? Yes. Is she SSS? Like when I think SSS, it's like game-breakingly strong. When I think S, it means units that perform their job really. Oh yeah, Riley being here is kind of like, that's funny. That's really funny. S, I would think really strong. I would see Craw here. He's fine here. He is not S tier. He is not S tier. Specimen says has no purpose being here. He's a super niche unit. Tamaruka is not S. She's good. She's an A tier unit. I wouldn't say she's an S tier unit. That's what. Oh man, already the ranking system gives me headaches because the fact that it's SSS. When you think SSS, you think game breaking. Honestly, only Maid and Carrot really fall in this category. All these other units, not all of them, but a couple of them could be S, and a lot of these S's go down. Like I would say that Landy is more of an S than SSS hero. That's kind of an argument. But man, it's just painful. It's just no. Flan's really good, yes. Yeah, I could see her being S. I could see him be F. Kayron? Kayron all the way up here? Better than A Sin? They're trolling. Dude, the thing about it is, like, I know this is a Reddit tier list, and it's just like, it's times like this that make me wonder. Some people on Reddit have some very interesting opinions. Let's see at least if their bottom tiers is good. These two are not. She is absolutely just trash. C tier. She's also speed imprint. Why does he get to be a speed imprint but Celeste doesn't? Why is Crimson Arm in here? Oh man. The more I see this, the more it gives me migraines. I don't think we're gonna spend too much time on this one because it's actually giving me my heartache. This list is actually giving me heartache. No. Crimson Armin is way stronger than this. F Maya is way stronger than this. She's here. Yeah, that's true. She's even better than C tier, I would say. Like, some of these units are good in the right situation. They're not, like, the worst. Oh, man. And then B is like, why is Acid here? This is terrible. This is terrible. I don't want to bother y'all's time anymore. Just know this is the type of opinion that Reddit has. But now we're going to do something a little bit more spicy. This one, I was told, Shuffles released a tier list. So let's actually watch it. And I encourage you guys to watch Five Finger Shuffle. He's one of the older Epic 7 YouTubers. Right? He's been around for a lot longer than I have. For sure. He has fallen off a lot. He's a little bit more washed up. Right? Like, I think he used to be like a really smart dude in RTA, but I don't think he like moved on with the times. I think he definitely has not been keeping up too well with the current meta and all that stuff. I definitely think that he's fallen off a lot in terms of like what he's capable to do. Like he used to be a lot more knowledgeable, but like he's not as knowledgeable as he used to be. Which is fine. I mean, he was really strong back in the day. But I'm curious to see what he thinks. So this is third quarter RTA tier list. Man. Oh boy. Shuffles, I expected more of you. For someone that you like, I'm not gonna lie, he used to be one of the best players in the game. I would argue, like, a year and a half ago, I would think he was actually one of the best players in the game. Right? Like a top 100 easy. Super knowledgeable guy. I still think he has a very good work ethic. I mean, I don't want to hate on him too much. But I wanna see this tier list. And already just seeing Seaside this high up, I know we're in for a doozy. I respect him a lot still. Like, I know his tier lists have always been super hot takes, but I know against the community talking, right? Against the community talking, and includes PvE. Let me see what he's. I really hope it includes other aspects. Is it just an overall tier list? I really hope it's just an overall tier list. Let me take off the music because I want to hear what he has to say.
Looking for a hard copy of this with the D tier and work our way up to triple S. We're gonna go. Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and today is tier listed. So we're gonna go through all the units that are relevant, I guess we'll say. There are a few 3 stars in here, some of the specialty changes. I didn't include them all because, quite honestly, there's a hell of a lot of units to go through, and it always ends up being about a 2-hour video.
Okay, so it is a everything tier list. Okay, so that's very hard to do on everything tier list. So I'll give him credit where credit is to do. I don't think it's RTA. Okay. So let's assume that it's not for RTA, right? Because it sounds like it's not, but it seems like it's very PvP centered. So let's assume it's an everything tier list, right? And he has it split up between water, fire, and does he have a dark section? He does have a light, so he hasn't split by the elements, right? So it is, okay, let's say it is for just everything. For just everything, CZ Bologna is an SSS tier unit. For everything. I agree with this. General tier list. That's really hard to do. I will say that this is really hard to do. I don't think an Epic 7 full tier list is a doable thing. I don't think you can get a lot out of it. Just seeing this, you cannot get a lot of out of this because everyone as a player values different things. I am very big in RTA, but I'm not big in PvE. So some heroes to me lose value, whereas like to other people it's huge. If you're only a PvE player, you would think that Tama and Diane are like god tier, right? And I can already see because he has Tamarine here, but Tamarine is the best PvE unit. Tamarine is the best. There is none like her. She would have to be SSS tier. And then Cecilia is only a PvP unit, and she's not even SSS tier list. Oh, man. Shuffles. What are you doing, man? Is this PvE? Right? Is it an everything? It feels like an everything because Sigrid is here, right? But at the same time, Chu is here. Chu does not have a purpose right now. Chu is not a unit you should be investing in. Oh, man. She's not bad, but she's not a unit you should be investing in, especially if you're an early game player. And she's not SSS at all. Landy's very good. I would put Landy up here. Kara, just on the fact that she's so strong for PvP, I would put her up here as well. Tama would be up here for sure. Charlotte, I don't think it's this high up. Like, what is he valuing? He looks like he's giving most value to PvP when I see this. Like, just scrolling through it, it looks like he's giving the most value to PvP. Why is Designer a little bit at S? Why is she higher than Bazaar? Or at the same rank as Bazaar? Oh, man. Shuffles. Shuffles, what are you doing? And Leo? Where the heck did they put Leo? I don't think I can realistically go over this because I would just end up doing my own tier list.
We have Bomb Model Con.
Flan at 8. Okay, we're done. We're done. Because she's actually really good for PvE as well as PvP. Just FYI. She's actually a very strong unit right now. For certain content. I can't. Like, as a holistic view, I'm just going to end up doing everything. I can't. I'm sorry. Shuffles. I still respect you a lot. But I can't realistically go over this and not have a discussion on every single unit. So we're going to look at Car 6 tier list because I know it's a little bit more... It's a little bit more targeted. So let me start the music back up again. It's a little bit loud now. Car 6 is killing it in terms of guys. I gotta give credit where credit is due. Car 6 has become a new pillar of the community, and some of his tier lists are amazing. or some of his content has been really, really good. Up to date tier list. This is RTA. It's something we can have a very legitimate discussion about. So, all right, Car 6 is actually a really good player, right? Right now he's actually very relevant, and this is really, really, really good. Yeah, that was a very hot take tier list. I don't think I could do it without going crazy. So this is Car 6 tier list for RTA. You can watch the video to see his thoughts on everything. So yes, Sid, again, I'm not the biggest fan of D, C, B, A, S, SSS because it doesn't take into consideration counter picking. It doesn't take into consideration like niche uses. It's just a very like black and white to see it. But let's just actually read it since it's actually like a PvP, so it's something you can actually do. So at SSS plus, I would imagine units at this level are like getting picked or banned almost every single game. S10, yeah, she's still really strong, especially in the right setup. Yeah, FCC is still insane. Fairytale I think can go down now. I don't think Fairytale is an SSS plus unit in RTA now. That's just me. She's still really strong, but with Violet being as strong as he is right now, I don't think this is. Oh wait, let me skip to the end. Because it looks like he didn't include certain units. I don't see Violet here. Do y'all see Violet? I would expect Violet here. So the fact that Violet's not here, I feel like it's not fully. It's already. Oh, it's right here. In A? Nah, Violet should be here. Violet's insane right now. I actually would put him up here. But let's actually see it. So Fairytale Tenebria, she could honestly go down because of Violet. That's how strong Violet is. So this is a little bit subjective. But for the most part, I mean, I can agree with most of this. I'm sure this is not ordered. If this was, Karen and Maid would be at the very top. Stand in the right situation is really good. Landy being an S and not being up here, it's a little weird because Landy I feel is more oppressive than Stene right now. I honestly think Landy's a better unit than Stene. I would honestly switch Stene with Landy. So that's just my personal opinion though, because I think Landy's more threatening to the board. She works in cleaves and she's better for bruiser players. It's not a husband waifu tier list. It's an actual tier list. So I would actually switch these two. I kind of disagree with him on this one. Cerise being S, she's a really good unit. Crawl being S is amazing. Right? Landy could honestly go up. Basara is S. As strong as he is, he still has more counters. Arby definitely has more counters. Blood Moon Haze being this high makes me think he really values counter picks. Do y'all know what rank he is in RTA? Because I know not all content creators grind too much RTA. Chat has some saying the tier list. Oh man, do y'all know what Car 6 rank? He didn't end Legend, did he? That I know of, right? Which is fine because I'm not a Legend player, right? Of course, I just know Legend people, and and Myth is champion. Okay, so he's around my same skill level with probably better gear. So he's around my same skill level with probably better gear. So that's why there's gonna be like slight discrepancies. I don't know what playstyle he more closely relates to. He had other players that helped him make the tier list too. I mean, yeah, most people usually try to get a couple. I will never release a tier list that I haven't had someone else show, right? He made with Mevlin and Valkyrie. Okay, so he did do like something similar that I do. Every time before I show a tier list, I show it to like my top players in the Discord to see what they think. But I think Landy and Stana could switch. Because when I think SSS, I'm thinking carrot levels of pick or ban units. And I don't think Stana is a pick or ban unit. She actually has more checks, right? And Landy's very strong. Fairytale Tenebria, same thing. I think she can actually go down because if you don't have Fallen Cecilia, Fairytale Tenebria is significantly weaker. Without Fairytale Tenebria is significantly weaker, right? So I think it would be S. So I would disagree with a couple of these. This is fine. This is fine. I think this is pretty good. Blood Moon, this makes me feel. I know in Legend, like high Legend, this is true. I would say that Blood Moon Haste. That's why I don't like this, because Blood Moon Haste is really good at what he does. He is amazing at countering Maid, and he is amazing at countering Arby, right? But he's not an S tier unit. He's just a really good counter pick unit. He's not a unit you would first pick. And I don't think Fairytale Tenebria is SS+, so I think she can go down now. Blood Moon Haste, that's why I don't like these type of tier list rankings. That's why my tier lists are set up like counterpick, right? Because those are counterpick units are units that their role is to counterpick, and in that situation, they're better than some S tier units, right? So that's why I don't like that. Like a lot of counterpicks are probably gonna be here. Same thing with Cleave, right? He has a whole tier for Cleave, But Pavel and Operator Sigrid are up here. Why? You will never pick a Pavel in a Bruiser team. Operator Sigrid, maybe? But then she would be A tier if you're just giving her general use. I don't get why he didn't put this in Cleave. Because they are usually almost exclusively used in Cleaves. Both these units. Operator Sigrid does have some general use. But if she was a general use unit, she'd be an A. She wouldn't be an S tier unit. Right? So that's a little odd. Again, this is probably just differences in... It's different. Unknown character, that's something I've actually been thinking about doing. But she says she's down to do it, but she says she's not funny. And she says people aren't going to enjoy it. But yeah, Emil Hayes is good in high bracket. I just don't think like an overall. March to King 7, all PvE focus must pull units. One of my friends suggested me all PvE focus must... Sora P, tell me what the must pull PvE units. The ones I can tell you for PvE that are must pulls are like Tama, Landy to an extent, and the rest are farmable. Like Falconer Chloe is a really good PvE unit. But yeah, it's a little odd. It's a little odd that Blood Moon Haze is here. I know he's amazing in Legend. That might be why it's a little skewed, because high ranks, because there's so much Mid Chloe and because there's so much RB, I could see that, and so much Royale. But in like a general use tier list, I don't think so. Madeline and Valkyrie, they are pretty much high champion players as well. Like very high champion players, like legend pushers. SSB, yeah. SSB is also a really, really good unit. He's also probably a must-have PvE unit. So I could see it. That's just a preference. I think he's more of a counter pick unit, but just as S is weird. These are weird. Kisa is very good. I would put it at S. Diane in the right hands is a insane unit. So I could see that in high ranks when people actually know how to use Diane properly. If there is no Landy, Diane is such a toxic unit, right? If there is no Landy, Diane becomes such a toxic unit. Polides, yes, absolutely. This unit is insanely good. Crimson Armin, yes, I wholeheartedly agree. This unit is on the come up. If you haven't fought one, it's because she is a hard to use unit, right? Something like Crimson Armin is a unit that gets better as you use her, right? So it's a unit that if you're a good player, you'll have a lot of good success. But if you're not someone that has like really good games knowledge and game sense, you're not gonna have as much success with Crimson Armin. She's a very high skill cap hero, right? So that's really cool. Pavel, oh, that's interesting, George. I didn't know that. I know that people are building Soul. Fun fact, Soul Bad Guy, I don't know if he's here. Soul Bad Guy is actually like being built right now because he hard counters Pavel. So fun fact, if you are someone that is struggling with Pavel, if you're someone that wants to be ready for Pavels, Soul Bad Guy is your best counter towards Pavel, ironically. Yes, I know that's weird, but it is your best counter towards Pavel is actually Soul, right? It's a secret tech. So that's cool, that's fine. Sage Ball in the right hands is insanely powerful. Like, if you can give him the speed build, is super powerful. LQC, I don't think she's S tier anymore. I think she's A tier, right? Because there's a lot of checks to LQC right now. She shines in a Bruiser versus Bruiser matchup, but not in other places. So that part's, it's a little weird. I think she could go down. She's like bordering as an A tier because she can be really good in the Bruiser versus Bruiser matchup, but there are a lot of threats to LQC right now. So people building with anything, honestly. He's a weird unit, but he's really good into Pavel because of what he does. But as far as A tier, yes, Elcraw, I 100% agree with these two. They are still both good units, but they are not the monsters they used to be. They're just like good in certain situations now. They are not like the monstrosities that they were, which is really weird to see them fall like this, right? It is very weird to see both Last Word of Crawl and A-Tywin, two units that dominated last season, fall this hard. This hard. It's so weird to me. These two units went from here to here with the buff to Maid Chloe and to Carrot. Fun fact, right? So that's interesting to see that these two fell that hard. I agree, they did fall this hard. They're not that good anymore. Charlotte is a unit that right now is getting better and better. With Stella being so popular, Landy being so popular, even now Violet being so popular, she's actually becoming a much better RTA unit because of how much damage she can do as a fire unit. So much AoE damage, and also the fire typing is really good into Violet. And if you give her Symbol, you can actually hit Violet more reliably and do a lot more damage, right? So she's pretty good. I mean, Charlotte is actually on the come up. Seaside has always been a counter and last pick unit. You can't blind pick her, but as a last pick, Seaside can just completely tear apart your draft, right? So that's why she is still a very threatening unit. She's always something you have to keep in mind, but it's not something you're going to pick all the time. So for sure, Seaside makes sense to be an A. Same thing with Ruel. She's only as good as the character she's protecting, so you have to draft a very particular way. And if the opponent knows how to draft against Ruel, it's going to be really rough for you to actually be able to deal with it. Tempest Surin, I see why she's at A, because I see what's at B and C and lower, but I almost feel like there should be another tier for her. Because Tempest Surin, I have not seen a Tempest Surin in a long time. So, I'm kind of torn between Tempest Surin. I have not seen a Tempest Surin pop off in a very long time. I don't think in the past like 100 to 150 games of RTA that I played, I have not seen Tempest Surin. She's kind of disappeared for some reason in RTA. So she's fallen into a counter pick tier. Again, same thing with Demo Hayes. They are really good at what they do, which is counter picking. Charmander said he's a pretty good unit. Of course, he gets checked by LQC pretty hard, which is why he's A. Robbie has fallen off because of Carrot. She used to be really strong. Frenzy changes also kind of hit her pretty hard. Briar Witch, it makes sense. Sid makes sense with the A as well. He threatens the board really good. He's a very good counter pick. Again, Sid is a really good counter pick. So is like T Surin. Elena, some people say she could be S tier, and she is close to having that. But she's like Crimson Armin, which is not an easy unit to use. Both these units, both Crimson Armin and Elena, are really great units if you learn how to use them properly. Because a lot of people don't know how to deal with both these units, to deal with invincibility, to deal with cleansing. So if you are good at using Elena and you're good at using Crimson Armin, you're going to be getting so much wins. Because they're very powerful units. What they do is very good, right? So that's fair. That's fair. Ragna, what you mentioned. They can still stomp lower level players. But yeah, Elena, I don't know how to make my opinion of her. KK, by the way, in the chat, he's actually a legend level player from the Discord. So I trust his opinion a lot. He's also a YouTuber, so go check out his channel. I think he just goes under KK. He does a lot of content, right? So if you ever need more RTA content and you want the opinion of a legend level player, KK is actually a legend level player. He was legend this past season, so that's pretty cool. So Elena, I still have to see it. I haven't played her enough, and I haven't played enough against them to really gauge how good she is. But she feels good. Top model Luluka, the better you're geared, the better she becomes, right? So if you have a really good top model Luluka, it is extremely threatening, right? It's something that the faster and more commitment you do on your top model Luluka, the more threatening she becomes as a unit. Right? But the worse your gear quality is, the worse that they are. Right? If that makes any sense. Right? If you have bad gear, Tamara Luca sucks. Right? She's only as good as your gear quality. She's kind of a whale unit in that aspect, that if you have bad gear on Tamara Luca, she sucks. Right? So, yeah. Still A though. She's still really good. But, okay, moving forward, DJ Bazaar, he's actually a really underrated unit. Again, another unit that's hard to use. It's another reason that a lot of people, like, think he's bad. It's the same reason people don't think Crimson Armin and Elena are good. They don't know how to use him properly. But in the right situation, the right draft, he's very threatening. Falconeer Clury at A. I disagree with this one. I think Falconeer Clury is actually an S tier unit. This unit just counters everything in the meta. So Falconeer Clury, yes, he's very RNG because you have a 15% chance to just lose the game, right? But Falconeer Clury, well built, is disgusting. Counters everything in this game. You can safely pick her into Cleave. You can safely pick her into Brewster. You can safely pick her everywhere. And Promoka Healer, I know Healer made that. It's very funny. I think it's unique. I think it's smart, but I don't know if I would recommend it. But yeah, she's a very good unit, and you can take her into a lot of situations and counters a lot of units. I almost would put her at S because she's so threatening. I still hate going against Falconeer Clury. Doris, very few people know how to use Doris properly, but she should go here. Violet should be S tier. Violet has gotten to a point where he does a lot. Hey, what's up, Trevor? Violet should be an S tier unit. I think this is just a hindsight where, since it's new, I mean, tier lists get outdated with new unit releases or buffs. Like, my tier list got outdated like this because of Carrot and Maid Chloe buffs, right? It could completely turn on its head. But with Violet, it's one of those buffs that's taking some time to really kick in, and most buffs take a couple of months to actually really realize. So that's pretty close. Pavel is an extremely fun and strong cleave unit, but requires really good gear to make him do a lot of stuff. Most cleave units require really good gear to actually function. But yeah, I think Violet is an S tier unit. Strauss is definitely A tier. He's really good into cleave teams. He has some booster builds that can do really good. Still a newer unit, so we'll have to see how good she can actually get. As far as B tier, I think Lilia's is a B tier unit. She's fallen off so hard. There usually is always a time where she becomes really strong. But right now, I think she doesn't have an optimal build, right? And it's just, she takes the slot of another knight, right? If you're facing a Carrot, are you going to pick her or are you going to pick a Crow? You're most likely going to pick a Crow, right? Most likely, over picking someone like a Lilius, right? Same thing with Ross. You're most likely to pick a Crow or a Fallen Cecilia or a T. Cressette before you pick Lilius or Ross. Although I will say, it's kind of harsh for Ross because both of these still have some really good teams that can function in. So it makes sense why they're in B. I'm a Kawasu, really good into single target, really good in certain scenarios, can be amazing. A Meru, I think is still such an underrated unit. I would put this unit at least A. I don't think this is a B tier unit. You cannot tell me that A Meru is a B tier unit. This unit is filthy strong. I am waiting for the day that I get an Art Team of Mercedes, and I guarantee y'all, I will become the most toxic player that y'all have ever seen in your existence. If you see me ever get an A Meru, I will pick her with Doris, with Ross, and with a Crimson Armin, and with like a Landy. I will be the most toxic player to prove to the point that A Meru is disgusting. I would pick her in almost every single situation. Granted, the only thing is that she does rely on the counter set and your team, right? So it's another hard to use unit. That alone, I could see why she's B tier, because she's another unit like Crimson Armin, like Elena, that to unlock her potential, right, you really need to really unlock A Meru's potential, you need to really know how to use her. And the people that know how to use A Meru will pick her all the time, right? She's disgusting. She's a filthy unit. She's super toxic, and I want her so bad. I would trade my Arbiter Builder for A Meru. I said it. I would trade my Arbiter Builder for A Meru. If the selection for the ML allowed us to pick any ML here in the game, I would have picked A Meru over Arbiter Builder. But that's just me. That's just my playstyle. I'm a toxic booster player. But man, A Meru is disgusting, dude. But yes, she's hard to build. She's hard to use, which is why just out of that, I would put her at B. So just because she's so hard to use and build, that's why I would put her here. I'm a big slot machine guy, right? I mean, you guys saw, I love MLR. I take her into places I shouldn't take her, but I just really like MLR. I just like units that can counter and do a lot from countering and just win your fights, right? So I really hope she gets a banner. Man, I regret not pulling harder for her. I did want her when she first was released. I did want her, but I was too far from pity, right? So that's really saddening to me. But I really like these style of units that are counter units that are slow. I don't know. She's a good unit. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. I would, yes, the Avenger, you can quote me at that. I would trade my Arbiter Builder for A Meru. Yes, 100%. No shame. No shame in me saying that. 100% I would do it. But I'm a slot machine player, right? That's just my playstyle. Arbiter Builder doesn't fit my playstyle. I don't like Arbiter Builder's playstyle, so. Did they rotate Maid? No, Maid should be the next coin shop unit. Lil Dwayne, Maid should be the next coin shop unit. So if you have some whale coins, she should be the next one. So I like it. I like it a lot. Champ C, again, this is another unit that is a counter pick unit. In a counter pick scenario, he's disgustingly strong. Here, he's not. Rylet, unironically, yes. I will have to say Rylet feels like a B tier unit. There are so many things in this game that check him. And it's not good enough for him to do what he does when Violet does it better. Right? So, Rylet right now just is not a good situation, right? So I agree he's a B tier unit. He still can function, but he's definitely not insane. I think the next rerun unit is either going to be a Ravi, Spess, or Sage Ball, or a Tywin. Between those four, the most likely one I think is going to be a Ravi, because we got Light, we got Ruel rerun last time, so I think they'll rerun a Dark unit, and the most likely Dark unit to get a rerun is a Ravi. So I think it's a Ravi. If not a Ravi, I think it's most likely for a Tywin to get it. But I mean, Rylet is only as good as how often he dodges. So kind of rough for Rylet. Simple Angelica. Yeah, in the right hands, she's really good. In the right teams, she's really good. But overall, kind of niche, right? Only certain situations is good. Again, Ross, we talked about why he's here. Yuna, I am shocked he doesn't underestimate this unit and he has her here. That is really odd to me. Counter Yuna is actually not a meme. She's actually a legitimate PvP viable unit. But it's weird seeing Yuna in the same tier as F Maya. And as the same tier as Lilius? That's a little weird to me. I would put Yuna more in the niche tier. But yes, she's not a meme unit. She's actually a very legitimate unit. But it's just a little weird. F Maya, I think it's underrated where she has her right now. I would almost say she's an A tier unit. F Maya can just win your games just for being dummy good. So, that's tough. Holiday Euphine on the come up. Again, another really good counter pick unit. And yes, I agree. Moise says, I don't like when they make units that only have one viable build. Crescent Rin, very RNG unit. If you get the buffs, you win. If you don't, you don't. Elfel, kind of a neat. See, Elfel is, again, another cleave unit. I don't know why he has her in B tier when she can easily go here. Why does Builder get special treatment, but Elfel can't be with cleave? No one's really using Elfel outside of cleave, right? So it's a little weird that he has that here. There's some inconsistencies, but again, I'm gonna give him some slack. Everyone's gonna have bad tier list, right? No one will ever 100% agree on a tier list. Charon being in C tier, yes, absolutely, yes. Charon is a C tier unit. He can function in the right situation, but not that great. There's too many checks to him, but when you can get him, it's pretty good. A Ravi should be here. I don't think A Ravi is a C tier unit. I mean, I mentioned again, there is no place that you would take A Ravi over any other unit in this game, right? There's just no point. There's no point, right? There is no point that A Ravi you would take her any other situation out, like where you wouldn't take another unit. Ken is definitely C tier. He still has functions. He's not super bad, but it's tough. Ren is not underrated just because she's such an RNG unit. And there are a lot of, like right now, Cleave is so tight and aggro has such a tight draft that they don't have room for Rin right now. It's kind of hard to put an Rin. She's still a really good speed contester, but the fact that you can just pick a Sid for speed contesting is tough. Yeah. S10 should switch with Landy. I don't think this is SSS. We've been talking about it, Trevor. This is Car 6, and he made it with Mevlin and some other high-level RTA players. Although some things I disagree with. Mersa makes sense. Senya, yeah, makes sense. Celine, again, more of a counter pick unit. Same with the Sign a little bit. I mean, you can't rank them against other units when their role is not to be a general use unit, right? Same thing with Rwana. I don't like the way this tier list is set up, but that's just me, right? Just because I don't see these units as like, oh yeah, they're like B or A. I see them more like, this is a counter pick unit, right? You would never pick this unit outside of a counter pick, right? So, I really do think they need a counter portion or a counter pick portion because a lot of these are counter pick units. Mui makes sense. She's a little hard to use. Specimen says, this unit is weird. I don't want to say anything because I want to do more testing with them. One of these days we'll do another RTA stream and I want to try Spess more because every time I pick Spess, I actually end up winning the fight, right? Somehow. And I have a decent build on him. But every time I pick this guy, I win, right? He does really good in certain situations, right? And I have ML Aura and I have A Tywin. So maybe I'll regear my A Tywin and I'll regear my Alencia and my Briar Witch. I'll finish building them and I'll try Specimen Cess with different teams. So they're pretty cool. Wait, there's a Sparrow here? Sparrow, actually, have you checked Light's tier list? Sparrow, no, I have not seen Light's tier list. But that'd be cool because I know Light's a Cleave player, so I kind of want to see it. That'd be cool to check out. That's I will agree. That's the problem with Spess is very team dependent. So that's why I would agree with the C tier because any team dependent unit is not gonna be as strong, right? Just because you have to do it. Why is Spec so tanky and not full damage? Trevor, because if you have a stun, this specimen says that you saw that was super tanky. If they get stunned, he's doing 25,000 damage. True damage, too. Why do I need more damage when my specimen says it's still going to kill, right? Why the overkill, right? So that's why I still think 10 Spec is cooler. Why is she slow to avoid immunity? I am a slow player. I'm a booster player. Trevor, if you ever watch me RTA, you'll kind of see why I have my unit so slow. I'm a big counter guy. And I pair him, honestly, I should speed up my MOR faster than my spec. Or I should change my specimen says to a counter build. I might do that. So I might try that. And no, I don't. But most of the time, I only take them in certain situations. I mean, these aren't units that you take all the time. I'll take it if there's no Bazaar. So it's a fun little unit. I do want to put my Sage Ball on Efres though. I think Efres Sage Ball is the best build. But going back to it, I mean, there's some niche units in here. Again, this one, Alencia definitely C tier. I could see him working now. Unironically, I think Assassin Cartuja is actually a decent unit now. Just because, like, with Violet and Riley getting, like the best way to stop Cleave also getting lucky, I could see Assassin Cartuja being a legitimate counter pick to Cleave teams now. I could see people picking Assassin Cartuja into Cleave now. Athletica, again, should be in Cleave, but as far as a cleaver, she's not. No one uses Athletic anymore. Cleavers have her as a pocket pick for certain situations when they don't guard against Athletica, right? Because some people won't guard against Athletica and they'll lose. Rain here, highly underrated. I don't do Arena. I do more RTA, Trevor, than I do Arena. I hate Arena. I made it to champion because I wanted the Sky Stones, but I hate Arena. Hey, later unknown character. But yeah, Rin, underrated character. By the way, she's extremely powerful. The evasion buff she can give, the gap she can give, the cleansing that she gives. She should be at least B tier. Rin is underrated right now. She's a really incredibly strong unit. I know more than one high champion level player that loves Rin in the Discord. And they know how to use her really, really well. So, really, really solid. I mean, I think she's a really strong unit. Highly underrated. Destina, I use her still, but yeah, she's a C tier unit. I mean, she's just a counter to control and an annoying tanky unit. Cecilia, this is one that the community is very split on. Cecilia is a unit that doesn't have any success in high ranks aside from shuffles, right? But a lot of people that use her think she's broken. So I'm wondering if it's just because people don't give her a chance to prove herself, right? Because she has a very good kit, right? So that's something that I've had more than one person put some not so nice comment on some of the videos where I say regular Cecilia is not that strong of a unit. And it's enough that it really makes me wonder, like, hey, maybe I underrated this unit. So I might finish building mine. I might finish giving her the catalyst and trying her out a little bit more and kind of seeing how I feel about her. Because I think she actually, like with the strip on the S2 being so consistent, could be interesting. Could be nothing, could be something. Definitely want to do more testing on her. Yeah, I want to do more testing on her because, like, the fact that this many people are telling me that she's actually a really good unit, I'm like, I mean, I never see her. I'm skeptical, but she has a good kid. Don't get me wrong, her kid's amazing. Like, if I look at Cecilia, her kid's great. Like, if I just look through the kid that she has, I think the S2 is incredible, right? It's on a 3-turn cooldown, and you're able to decrease attack, decrease speed for 2 turns. I forgot how this works. Does she strip and then apply the debuffs, or does she apply the debuffs then strip? Smygate is not that consistent with the wording of their skills, so that's one of the reasons why it's kind of hard. So I'm kind of wondering if it's strip, so she strips after. That's dumb. That's so dumb. That's why she's trash. They should strip before doing the debuffs. They did her dirty. If this stripped and then did this, she'd be really good. But it sounds like it's debuffs then strip. That's tragic. That means even if you outspeed a Landy, there's no point. You can't land the debuffs on Landy. So that sucks. They did her dirty. She can't even be a proper Landy counter because of this. Can't even be a proper Landy counter. Huh. That sucks. The S3 is also really good. Self-barrier, AoE provoke, right? immunity on herself. It's solid. And this one's solid. I mean, her kit's not bad. And then this one, it's pretty nice that she gets this as well. So that sucks. Why is it like that? Why do they do this? The decrease attack. Why does she strip after? Why does F10 get privilege? Man, that's unlimited unit privilege. F10 is a privileged unit. This unit is privileged. I'm sorry, but this unit is privileged. Absolutely privileged unit. This is actually privileged. Look at that. She gets to strip and apply some of the most crushing debuffs in the game. That's privilege. That's privileged. This is unlimited privilege. Man, that's so sad. And I know Ida is also stripped first. Why did they do Cecilia dirty? Let me actually see Ida. I think I have my Ida somewhere. Okay, my Ida might be in the box. I mean, Cecilia is just hard to draft as well, which is why, I don't know, I'll try her more, but I could see why he put her at C. So I just really wanted to see Ida, because I'm pretty sure she also strips first. It's not just F10A. Let's see. I believe it's strip, then pushback. So yeah, strip, then pushback. Why does Cecilia get done dirty, dude? Cecilia gets done so dirty. All these units strip and then apply their debuffs, and then Cecilia's like, nah, I don't feel it. So that sucks. They did Cecilia dirty. I don't know what to say. Also, a fun fact, I don't think, yeah, all these units strip and then apply the debuffs. It's just Cecilia that did her dirty for no reason. Unironically, I actually think that Ida is not a bad hero. Right? And this is something that I don't think he put her in the tier list. Yeah, she didn't even make the tier list. I don't think Ida made Ida didn't make the cut. That's so sad. Ida didn't make the cut. But as a unit, I don't think she's a bad unit. The only problem is, like, when would you ever pick Ida over Fairytale Tenebria? And yes, the speed is ridiculous. If this is a 115 speed unit, then you could actually potentially do a lot more with her. But this low speed sucks, right? So it's just, why pick her when you can pick F10, right? Cool kit, right? Broman's also not there. I don't think this tier list has every single unit. Oh no, Broman's here. I think. Wait. Is that not the right one? Where's Ida? Oh, Ida's not here. I don't see Broman, but Broman will probably be in C. 2 RNG. Ida's not a bad unit. That's the thing. I don't think Ida's a bad unit. I think she's actually a PvP viable unit. It's just like, why build her when you can build F10 and all these other units, right? Exactly. It's a power capped unit. She was power capped on release. That's legit. Ida, she was power capped on release, which sucks because she's actually a really cool looking unit and has potential and has like a cool kit. Like in her kit, it's actually pretty cool sounding. So that sucks. D situational. So you have a D situational counter pick tier, but not for counter picking. Interesting. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. How can you tell me Vivian is here, but Dilovin and Selena are up here, and Mursa, and Alencia? Nah, that's cap. That's cap. Vivian is definitely way better than this. Vivian is incredibly strong in the right team situation. I don't think she's a D tier situational unit. That's cap. I think Vivian is at least C, if not B. She's actually a really good unit. You can't tell me Yuna is a B tier unit, but Vivian is not. There's no way. There's no way. Cleanse 1 debuff, attack buff, and immunity? So, I disagree with that. That's weird. Cowrek also being in D, that's kind of weird too. Although I could see it. Tenebria being there makes sense. Emma Ara, she's pretty fun. This one, yes, is situational. And then Cleave. There's a lot of units missing from this tier list. Now that I realize it. It's not a full holistic tier list for RTA. There's a lot of units missing, actually. Like, the more I look at it, I'm like, he missed a lot of, like, PvP viable units. Let's see. These are not PvP viable, so I'm pretty sure that's why he didn't put them. He didn't even put Ilnaf or Mort. I think that's so funny. I don't think Charles was there, was he? Yeah, I don't think Charles is here. Yeah, there's a lot of units missing from this. Oh yeah, YouTube dark mode? I know, I hate YouTube dark mode. But alright. All in all, I mean, for the first 3 tiers, it's like you could argue for some being higher than others. But it gives a pretty good idea. And that's something that you have to realize with all tier lists. No tier list is perfect. So I don't wanna hate on him too much. Because again, no tier list is perfect. We can argue and stuff that she's a better unit. That some units are better, some units are worse, but we all have different playstyles, we all have different experiences, so there's never a perfect tier list. This is probably like, I would say like 70% accurate, which is not bad, and it's pretty good for like the higher levels. Does Smort have any good matchup against anyone's? Ragnar, yes, he does really good into Sage Ball. That's it. Mort destroys Sage Ball. It's funny, but it's like, he destroys Sage Ball. Unironically, this guy is as a counter to Sage Ball because he can't be slept. He breaks Sage Ball's HP, and he does more damage than Sage Ball is going to be doing over time. So with more S3s, at the time, he can't sleep you, and you're just going to win, right? So unironically, yes, Mort actually has good matchups. He does. He can't be slept or stunned. He destroys this HP, so the S3 on Sage Ball is less threatening, and he can decrease defense and potentially pin him down and kill him early. So, yes, fun fact, Mort has positive matchups. He's not a pure neg matchup unit. I know that's weird to say, but it's actually, like, funny. It's funny because I know one of my friends who uses Sage Ball all the time in the Discord, and one time I had Mort build. I had Mort build, and he used Sage Ball, a Tywin, and like I think Iseria and some other unit, and he's like a high champion level player, and I picked him into it, and he actually lost because he couldn't kill them more. It was so funny. It was a fun match. I will say that. More Ilnav. I still think Ilnav has more uses. The fact that Ilnav gets an AOE crit damage buff makes her better. But if you're curious about build, let me actually show you one. It's pretty standard. I want to test Lifesteal Mort. I think Lifesteal Mort would be interesting. I might try that. I might try Lifesteal Mort one of these days. Just for fun. Just because I think he has, like, he doesn't have hidden. He sucks, by the way. You shouldn't build him. Unless you really want to. But he's such a situational unit. And so niche. And even then, it's like, you can just use a cleanser. Right? But I think this is one of the better Morts. This is a very good Mort that is going to do damage, and it's going to do some stuff with Elris, right? He doesn't need immunity, so unironically, with Elris, I think it'll be enough damage. The problem is with Mort is people will focus him, right? I think he needs Mort needs a whole kit rework, but I think if he got a built-in counter, right? If Mort ever gets a built-in counter, and this skill becomes 100%, and this skill does a little bit more damage, he can be a legitimate viable unit. Because his S1 is really good, right? This skill sucks. And this skill is non-existent aside from the fact that he's immune to stun and sleep. This skill, the rest of it sucks, right? If he gets a built-in counter with Elris Sword, I actually think he would not be a meme unit anymore. If that ever happened, Mort would actually become a viable unit. Because the biggest problem is he wants to be in the field for a long time, right? And no. Trevor, the Discord, all the videos I make and all the, and there's a bunch here too. You can probably scroll and search more here, and you could probably see some other builds. People like to post their builds here, and I appreciate it a lot. We try to update these, but some of them sometimes get outdated. But people post a lot of units. I can just scroll through these. But I post a Discord link every single time. You don't have to be in the guild. It's open to the whole channel. I mean, there's a lot of lurkish in here that I'm sure only use it for the top unit builds. There's a lot of channels, and sometimes it gets a little bit crowded. But I'm always open to suggestions. There's a suggestion tabs here too. So it should be open, but let me just in case invite everyone in case the link's not working. But yeah, it's open to everyone. But I really think Mort needs a built-in counter. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense to me. If you get a built-in counter, this skill makes more sense because he'd be countering more. And make this skill, give it for 2 turns. The increased hit resistance. There's no reason it should be restricted. This buff's not even that scary, right? Or make it 100%, right? But I think making it a counter buff would actually make more a legitimate unit. Because he actually does a pretty good amount of damage, and it's so threatening. The fact that if he counters and you get decreased defense, if he already has 3, that's a 100% chance. Your Ruel, your Crawl, your Knight, your Maid Chloe is getting defense broken. I think it could actually be a legitimate unit with a counter built in. A built-in counter will make him way better, and if they fix the S2 and make the S2 do a little bit more damage. Or be faster, right? Accurate buff. What is more needed? Something similar to Luna S1 or Landy S2. Yeah, I could see that too. I agree. I think this skill also making it so every time he countered, it would be cool if every time Mort countered, this skill's cooldown was reduced by 1. So it'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be really, really awesome. But yeah, unironically, Mort is not a bad hero. Fun fact. Mort is not a bad hero. No, he's bad. Let me rephrase that. I'm getting tired, so I may start stumbling on my words. He's a bad unit, but he actually has good matchups. Shockingly, right? I know, shocking. He actually used to do really good into Golden Boys. Like into Sage Ball and into A Tywin, he does really good. Unironically. They have to focus him down, which is the only reason he can still get counter is because they have to focus him down, right? So that's why it sucks that he doesn't have a built-in counter, because if they focus him down, you're not countering, you're not doing anything for 3 turns, you don't have a presence. There's no presence on the field for Mort. After he does his skill, boom, his presence is gone, right? He doesn't do anything for like the next 3 turns. So yes, unironically, shockingly, he's a bad unit that has good matchups. Still better than A Robbie. I don't know how that's possible. But yeah. Alright. So with that, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream. It was a little bit different. Let me know if y'all enjoyed the Reddit hot takes, because it's a good discussion and it gets the chat going and it gets people talking. So I enjoyed it. I had fun. I probably will do it again in the future, especially if there's some like crazy stuff that someone shows me. So it was fun. I enjoyed it, seeing what people do in Reddit. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. If y'all enjoyed, make sure you like and sub, all that good stuff. It helps out a lot. Always feel free to send a suggestion on any video or guide that you want me to talk about, or any other game that you're interested in, so I can actually consider maybe doing it, right? So yeah, that is all I got for you guys today. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace.